uninformed movie lovers. Welcome to Uninformed Movie Reviews.
Well, I would say your Australian accent got decent.
Yeah,
while you were in Australia,
it wasn't bad. It's not a very hard one to replicate. I'll give you guys a lesson right now if you want to learn how to say no, as the Australians do. Just put an R at the end of it.
Ner,
nor,
nor.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So, welcome back. This is Uninformed Movie Reviews, episode 73.
Yes,
and I'm very
no 74.
Damn it!
We're always so unconfident and always nail it, but today's the day. You went in full confidence, right on your face.
You know what? Whatever. Episode 74. I am back stateside. It is me, Danny Two Hands, right here with Franklin the Danklin.
Hey.
And we've got our lovely off-screen co-host / mission control person, Grace. She's there.
Hello.
Yeah. So today, we're talking about substitute teacher movies. We're doing a movie quest.
Yes.
We haven't done it in a minute.
No, it's been a while.
Yeah. Really exciting about that.
Yeah.
So for those who are new listeners who don't know about Movie Quest, basically we bring in our favorite and a runner-up of any category that we're talking about. And Frank actually knows the real subtitle.
Oof, off the top of my head, I'll give it a shot. Our quest to find out what our favorite movie of all time is, at least up until this point. Obviously, there's movies that haven't come out and movies that have already come out that we just haven't seen yet. Or something like that.
Well done.
Yeah.
What is it, like almost 8 years into it? And
it's the clunkiest title I've ever come up with, and I did it purposely, and I did too good of a job.
You really did.
Yeah,
you even clunk yourself up. I'm digging the vibe visually that you have going on. For anyone who's watching, you understand, but for anyone who's not watching, Frank's got like very much, it's either one of two things. It's either like dad in the 90s look, kind of going to a PTA.
Nice. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I feel like I need a cell phone like belt holder.
Yes. One on each side. One's your work phone. One's your personal
that goes into
phone.
like my leather woven belt.
Yeah, and it's a flip phone.
Yeah, obviously.
That's the only kind.
Yeah.
The other vibe being that you look kind of like someone that would hang around Tony Montana.
I can dig that. I can dig that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I'm taking these all as compliments.
So for those who don't know, I was out of town recently. Went on a vacation.
You weren't on the last episode?
With my wife? No, because I would have talked about how shitty of a film The Warriors is.
Weird.
And that's why they were able to get away with a deep dive on The Warriors, which I did listen to, which was nice.
Yeah.
I listen to my podcast when I'm not around.
It's a great film.
That's debatable, but it was a good podcast.
You could debate it, but you'd be wrong.
And actually, now that I'm going to commandeer this episode, and we're actually doing a deep dive on Denis Villeneuve's Dune via 2022.
We can't. I'll shut off the recording.
Welcome. I got gotcha journalism. I got you on here. Now you have to answer my questions. Yeah, so I was out in Australia. I went to meet up with my wife in Sydney to stay with her family and hang out. Meet my brother-in-law and stuff and my sister-in-law and have a good old time down under. Stayed in Sydney for a while. Then I went down to Melbourne, which was a good 10-hour drive.
Jesus.
Yeah, and it wasn't even like to the other side of Australia. It was like everything. So in Australia...
So Australia is like Texas is what you're telling me.
In so many ways. And I continuously pointed that out to my family down there when I was with them.
Like, oh yeah. That's Texas.
This is very... Guys, I don't know if you realize this. This is very Texas. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm having the sneaking suspicion that American Airlines actually just took me up in the air and flew me around for about 20 hours and then brought me right back down somewhere in Texas. Because
we're still on the fence. Australia might not be real.
It might not be real. For those who don't know that Australia, I guess geographically... I mean, obviously, super far away. Secondly, the way that it's settled is that a lot of people live on the rim of the continent or whatever it is, the landmass in general, because there's no hospitable way to live in the middle. obviously where the Outback is and all that stuff. So all the big cities are going to be on the coasts. So Sydney's on the far right, kind of the midway of the closest part of the Pacific Ocean, and then
Of
Pacific.
this specific ocean.
And Melbourne's actually not that far from it. I mean, it is freaking far from it, but it's very far south. But if you looked at it on a map, it just wouldn't seem that far.
See, they're doing it wrong. They got to get corporations in there. Plant yourself a couple McDonald's, KFCs. Civilization will just sprout from there.
Bro.
Yeah.
They don't need any more McDonald's. Let me tell you. Woo! Yeah, that's one of my similarities. I actually made a list that we have here.
Nice.
One of the things is, I mean, I'm pretty sure that Australia is owned by McDonald's because they're everywhere. And
do they call it Macca's like they do in the UK?
It is officially Macca's.
Nice.
In their mobile order app is Macca's, like your way.
Really?
Something like that. Maccas. Yeah.
Huh.
No one. I mean, some people will call it McDonald's, but like you're pretty much going to call it Macca's. And McCafe is kind of a thing all on its own. I'm pretty sure each McDonald's there has a McCafe in it, and the McCafes are real nice. Like McCafe on its own is something that I would probably order besides just getting a McDonald's meal.
That's strange.
The coffee's well done.
Huh.
It was hard to find anything close to like what I would have as like a cold brew here or anything like that there. The closest would be at Macca's McCafe. So I like an iced coffee. You can get anything you want, like a espresso mocha latte, and it's really well done there. So that was a big difference. What was I going to say? Melbourne more so was like a coffee oriented place, but the way they have their coffee is more like a purist thing, except for one detail, which really just surprised the hell out of me when I got there. They put a scoop of vanilla ice cream in their coffee. And that's what they call an iced coffee.
I'm surprised and intrigued and a little bit turned on.
It's kind of hot.
Yeah.
However, I don't appreciate that they just called it an iced coffee.
No, that's different.
Right. And that was
That's a coffee float?
That was the crux of my argument.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? No, yeah, you've turned this into like a milkshake now.
No, yeah, you did it wrong.
So that was like kind of the jarring part of it. I was just like, I ordered an iced coffee from someone and I got it and I was like, this is really good. Like, what's in it? And they're like, oh, they put a scoop of ice cream. I'm like, what?
Excuse me? But that's genius because then you can just instantly ice some hot coffee and you don't water it down and it's all creamy.
I think it's a good idea.
We're going to have to try that out.
I'm not one typically for putting dairy in my coffee because I like oat milk because I'm like that. But
I mean, my stomach is lactose intolerant, but I'll tolerate some lactose. My mouth,
I was gonna say your stomach lacks
tolerant.
toast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was delicious, but it was a little jarring, and I wish they would call it something else because I can't just like go in and
Yeah, you could come up with a fun name.
I'm
for
like,
that.
hey, we do crazy stuff with our coffee here in the U.S. You know what I mean? But we don't just like call it coffee. Like you order a coffee here, and I'm gonna hand you a root beer float, and you'd be like, what?
No, root beer float? No, that's iced root beer.
Yeah. It's a bit jarring. So I didn't get my also sugar as we know it, like in many other countries, is just non-existent.
Nobody does the diabetes like we do.
No one does.
Nobody does.
No one does. And there's a significant lack of any fast food chains. I mean, there's some, but they're really like it's just McDonald's like everywhere. You're not gonna find like there are some. I think there's a Taco Bell there now. Maybe. Good luck to that one. KFC is the other one. It's like either McDonald's or KFC. That's like all you're gonna see.
How many Outback steakhouses are there?
None. Well, there's one.
Really?
Outback is an American company.
Yeah, I figured
Florida.
that. Yeah.
Started in Florida. Apparently they didn't do too well in Australia, so they were restricted. There's like one outside of Sydney, maybe a couple in Melbourne or something like that, but they're not that.
I'm honestly surprised that there's any.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, Sam was saying she wanted to go. It's like a tradition for her to like go check them out because she used to work at Outback and stuff like that, which I get. But I was also just like, there was a moment we were trying to plan it out and it would require like taking the bus and trains and stuff. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do that for Outback.
Yeah. We're putting in a lot of effort to go to this chain restaurant right now.
To what I don't know is traditionally Australian food. Yeah, so that was a bit interesting. It's like I said, there's a lot of similarities to Texas. I mean, it's basically the Texas or Florida of the UK. And culturally, it's like, I love the Aussies were all cool, man. I mean, I met a bunch of great Aussie people. And they're so much easier to get along with and just like get personal with and just, you know, they're more open than I would say their British counterparts. And they like that. They like not being compared to the UK for sure. But you would notice, I mean, there's a lot of like words that they use that are from like what we use in America. So like, I think I was telling you like an eggplant to us would be like aubergine to the UK. Yeah, that's a word, right?
I feel like I'm hearing this word for the first time.
Aubergine is what they call it in the UK, and I think most of Europe too.
Aubergine sounds like a word that would be used by like a 1950s eugenics proponent.
I agree.
It sounds like one of those words.
Yeah.
Like when you first said it, I felt a little bit uncomfortable. Like, oh, Danny, can we say that on the podcast? But apparently it means eggplant.
Yeah, it's for science. It's for science. Yeah, that was another one. So the Aussies use eggplant. There's another one also. They use zucchini, whereas the UK calls it. And I know whoever's listening is going to be yelling it into the radio right now, and I can't.
Into their radio?
I can't remember.
Broadcasting.
That's
live.
not how radios work, dipshits.
You idiots. We can't hear you.
Zucchini. It's gonna come back to me. Anyways, so there's that, and then like bell peppers to us, which is what Australia calls it, or you know what, they might call it capsicum, but it's called a capsicum over there too. Really weird.
I don't like any of these words you're telling me right now.
Yeah, I know, it's really weird, right?
I'm glad we threw all that tea in that river.
Got it. Got him.
I can't see it that far. What does it say?
Aubergine. Yeah, that's eggplant, but it's zucchini. See what the UK people call zucchini. It's something weird, and I think zucchini is actually fancier.
I like the way zucchini sounds.
Zucchini's
not
fun.
a huge fan of the taste.
Nah, it's fine. Courgette.
Courgette? That's another word that sounds like it's wrong to say.
It sounds like a Corvette, and I don't think about that when I think about that vegetable. I think about something spicy like a zucchini. It sounds better, right?
Yeah.
The zucchini's just better.
Zucchini's got a zest.
They're obsessed with avocado, which is cool. I like avocado too, but I mean, it's like everywhere. It's on every menu I could find. There was like, a popular breakfast item is like avocado toast, but it's like a big piece of toast. It's just giant, just slopped with avocado on it, which is great.
I mean, I'm down.
Tomato and feta, and it's good. It's really good. But I was surprised. I mean, I'm not hating on it. It's just an observation. So some Texas similarities I noticed. Obviously, because of the terrain, and probably just a cultural thing. They love trucks, so they're driving trucks everywhere. So I felt very at home when I saw like, oh, well. Now their trucks look different. Obviously, they're like almost like European versions or you know, Asian versions.
Still look very utilitarian.
That's
very
it.
Square.
And they call them utes.
Utes?
Yeah, like a utility vehicle.
Like they're utes, drive around in utes?
Yeah, and I kind of like that. I kind of wish we called our trucks utes.
I don't know how I feel about utes.
Because if you see a dog in the bed of a ute, you see a ute dog.
A ute dog?
Yeah, it's a common occurrence.
A cute ute dog?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, now I'm kind of down.
Kind of cool with that, right?
Yeah.
However, the difference being like all of their trucks have snorkels on it.
Ah.
All of them.
Makes sense.
Like I feel like you would be really out of place if you had a ute there and you didn't have a snorkel on it.
They'd be like, this guy's not from here.
Like, you wank. Like it would look out of place. It was on everything. And then there was a couple of crazy things like there's a brand of car that they have there. I mean, there were some Chevys around, but there was one called Holden. It had a different insignia, some cool insignia, but
it was like a hand under like a pear or something.
Holden something.
Yeah.
Well done. It was Holden, but it was Chevy models. Like I was seeing these cars and it was like giving me like a Mandela effect.
You're like,
I know
that's a Silverado.
I was like, that's an Impala.
Yeah.
That's a Malibu. Like, and it said Holden, or it said some other name, and I was just like, what brand is this? Like, I feel like I'm in some like topsy-turvy world where the water flushes reverse and the toilet it doesn't. By the way, big old wives'
disappoint.
tale. I know, absolute disappoint. The one thing I was glad that I didn't experience in Australia was giant spiders. I didn't see any, thankfully. They saw me, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's probably one right behind you the whole time.
I just didn't want to see a huntsman. You know what a huntsman is?
I'm aware.
Yeah, I didn't. They're good spiders. They're good. Yeah, exactly. I would have shot myself. They're good spiders to see around. I mean, they take care of the other spiders and the poisonous ones and stuff, but they are terrifying, huge, and they walk sideways.
Nice. Like
So
a crab.
They've got the crab walk with it, too.
Hey, where do you think you're going? Where do you think you're going?
Not only that, but they are huge and they dart extremely fast. Like, there's videos of people like seeing them, and then just like there's this really famous one where this Australian lady's trying to get him out of the house, and like he's up in the corner, and she like uses a broom, and by the time she gets the broom up to him, he just darts like right at her. He just jumps on her. Oh my god, it's terrifying. So I'm glad I didn't encounter any of those. The roads are very large. I don't know. There's just like they're more friendly. You know what I mean? They're kind of laid back. Everyone's kind of got that. It's a weird, different skin tone for Aussie white people. They've got kind of like that leathery, like white person in Florida look.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That golden,
or like
kinda...
somebody who's been a PE coach their whole life.
Yeah. Just because the sun's so damn strong out there.
Makes sense. It's pretty close to the equator, isn't it?
It's way below it.
Below it.
Yeah. So I did cross the equator on the flight. I was just like, whoa, this is wild.
Did you see it? We were like, oh, weird.
Oh, look at that. There's just a giant line out in the middle of the ocean. There's just this giant line. Weird. It almost looked like the Golden Arches over Amacus. So that was the UV index, and I didn't realize that. I can check it on my watch now what the index is, and I never really checked it here. I was never really aware of it, but Australia had a problem where like the ozone ripped over Australia for a while. And that's what's killing like part of the Great Barrier Reef and stuff like that. Like the sun rays, for a while, people were getting skin cancer like crazy in Australia. Whoops. Yeah, so you got to really like be conscientious of the sun out there. And like even the kids and like the school kids and stuff, they make them part of their school uniform. They have to wear like giant stupid hats when they go outside.
That's really funny.
So it's really easy to identify like school kids and stuff because they're wearing these dumb sun hats.
Makes it hard to be truant.
Yeah. Or to be like, a cool, like, someone, like a bully or anything, because you're still wearing a stupid floppy sun hat.
Yeah. It's got to be a little humbling.
Yeah. They still have to wear their stupid little ties like the UK. I always make fun of Sam for that. I was just like, man, that sounds so humiliating. You guys had to dress up from, like, what would be their elementary school all the way to, like, finishing high school. They dress up the entire time they're in school.
I mean, we had to do it for what, like 3 years?
That's what I was saying.
And then we weren't even good at it?
No.
Yeah.
And then if anything, they just made us wear a polo and that's it. And some khakis. And that's sad. That would suck. That's something I hope America never adopts. Making the school kids wear that dumb shit.
Nerds.
Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of weird like measurements that they use that would be more like American than it would be like the UK and stuff. And yeah, it's really cool, man. It's a fun place. There's wildlife all over the place. On the drive we took from Sydney to Melbourne, I saw at least 10 dead kangaroos. They're like, I didn't realize how omnipresent they are there. They're just all over the place.
Makes sense.
I ate kangaroo.
How was it? Gamey?
Smelly.
Smelly?
Yeah. But I did have kangaroo jerky, which is different.
Yeah.
It's different, but it smelled so bad, dude.
Jerky's not a great way to eat a meat for the first time.
Not for the first time. Yeah. No, I wouldn't. Yeah, like it's smelly. I opened that bag and I was like, Jesus Christ, it was pungent. It was extremely pungent.
Well, they were using some of those roadkill kangaroos, I bet.
I mean, probably. They're definitely
like,
a
you
problem.
just let them sit out there long enough, you could just carve it right off.
There's already some
bag.
jerky right there. They're a problem. They're cool, though. I mean, we went to like the reptile park. We were able to hang out with them and feed them and stuff. And they're real nice. They are absolutely ripped.
Yeah.
Dude. Oh my God. I saw
every picture I've seen of a kangaroo, they just look like they're flexing.
There was like a large one where's a couple, but at the park that were like, I saw the one that was, I would reckon 6 feet tall. Like 6 feet tall, and absolutely like his muscles had veins just popping out of his pecs, just standing there like, ugh.
Sup, bro?
Yeah, dude.
You gonna come pet me, bro?
and it's worse that like not only does their top body just look ripped AF, but like their legs, their quads are giant because the legs are bigger than their entire body.
All kangaroos look like they play rugby from the waist down.
Dude, they're insane. I also saw a kangaroo penis. That was cool. One was sleeping, and as it
the
was
penis was sleeping, or the kangaroo was sleeping.
Well, probably both, but as it was sleeping,
because sometimes when you're sleeping, your penis is awake.
Yeah, that's when it comes out to play.
Yeah.
So the guy was. I have the video of this. I'm gonna show you it when we're done with this. But like the kangaroo is just laying on the ground sleeping, and you see like this tendril like appendage just come out of the lipstick and just like start wiggling. And it's like, I don't know what it's looking for, like a food source or what, but it's just like
a food source. It's looking for like a flower to like drink the nectar from.
It was astounding. I've never been so captivated by an animal's penis.
You know, I didn't realize until just now I knew nothing about kangaroo penises.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
They're tentacle-like.
And I know a lot about a lot of different penises.
Well, if you've ever been curious about a kangaroo's penis, I'm your guy. I'm your kangaroo guy.
Yeah. I'm also a little bit upset at you to find out you've been holding out on a kangaroo video.
I thought I sent it to you.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have one of the giant balls.
I'm sure our friendship will recover one day, but today's not that day. I don't know. We'll see. We'll get those margaritas going later. I might forgive you.
I held a koala. Well, I didn't hold it. In the part where I was in Sydney, it's illegal now to hold them. So even when you do a koala encounter, the caregiver has to hold it. But I mean, if it comes on to you, then you can, exist while it is on you.
You're not supposed to like yeet it off of your body.
Yeah, no,
okay.
As much as you might want, because like the baby kangaroo was rambunctious. Koala was rambunctious. I didn't realize how fast they can move. And watching one walk on the ground was so weird. It was like first off, their hands are sideways, like chameleon hands.
Okay.
And they have 2 thumbs. Yeah. For what reason? I don't know.
Nature's weird, man. This
animal is an evolutionary mistake that I don't know how it existed before humans came around, because it's stupid, first off. It's extremely picky with its food source, to where it only eats the leaves of the tree, of the eucalyptus tree, but it only eats the freshest leaves. If they have a spot on them, they don't even eat it.
Hey, they're connoisseurs.
And there's not even nutritional value to it, too. So it's all they eat. So they're like lazy and like high all day, and then they just like all over themselves. And then they just walk down all high from tree to tree, and then they get hit by cars. So...
Well, it's a good thing they're in these petting zoos, I guess.
I'm pretty sure that they need humans to exist.
Don't they carry like a disease?
Chlamydia.
Chlamydia? Yeah, I knew it was something. I knew it was something
That's one of the disease.
They have 2 thumbs to better grip the trees, because the trees they tend to climb tend to be a little more slippery than a normal tree doesn't have.
Oh, like the gum trees and the eucalyptus trees. Look at that.
Huh.
Look at that.
I didn't know you had secret koala
expert.
knowledge.
I googled it.
Okay.
See, you could have just gotten away with that and be
Yeah,
like,
you could have kept that in your pocket.
Yeah. Their fur is when they're babies is very like downy. It feels almost like it feels like a stuffed animal. The little babies ones, when they get older, it feels gross. It feels matted and kind of tangly and
like
nasty.
A dog that's been out in the wild.
Yeah, they're very pungent. Like it's a nasty smell.
Did you see any koala penises?
No, I saw some balls. Did not see if they have also a tentacle penis or not. Quality content you looked at on an uninformed movie reviews.
Yeah, we're getting a little bit of geography, a little bit of zoology, a whole lot of dickology.
Some sociology.
Yeah.
There you go. But we're informed about that.
It's funny because the whole premise of today was to talk about movies that your substitute teacher would show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we're learning more today than we usually do.
Well, you know what? That's a great point.
Yeah.
And it's because our teacher is off of the cast today.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason that inspired this podcast is David, who is a teacher. He's out, so we're deciding to roll the TV card in.
Yeah. Roll away the overhead projector, roll in the TV cart,
Pop
substitute.
in. Yeah. Switch, before we get to it, I want to thank everyone that has liked, shared, and subscribed thus far. I actually didn't hear that at all.
Yeah, me neither.
Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing right now. If you're on YouTube, do us a favor. Go down a little bit, press like, and subscribe to the channel. It helps us out immensely. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts right now, do us a favor, rate the podcast. It helps us get discovered.
Do it.
If you're on Spotify, do us a favor and rate the podcast. It helps us get discovered. Also, if you follow us on Spotify, we'll pop up in your episodes for you on your homepage every time we come out, which is typically 2 times a month now. Typically Sunday morning. So it'll be right there ready for you. Check us out at Instagram at Uninformed Movie Reviews, also at Twitter at UMR Podcast, and now at TikTok at Uninformed Movie Reviews. I learned it.
And if you see a koala, don't pick it up. That's illegal, apparently.
If you're in New South Wales, it is. Yeah, so it was a great trip. Now that I'm back,
Glad to have you back, bud.
thank you. So this was a thing that wasn't a thing when I was checking with Sam. I was like asking her, and Sam grew up in the UK, like I'm saying, and I was asking abroad too, and I think in Australia I asked some of the people there too, but like if they had the experience of the TV cart, you know, when the teacher's gone away, typically in our version of the American,
Even sometimes if your teacher just had to like catch up on paperwork.
catch up on paperwork, was hungover, it was the end of the semester, you know, what have you.
They used to be an engineer at White Sands Missile Range, but now they're a physics teacher at a high school in Texas, and they're totally calling it in because they've given up on their career.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Or they're just sad.
Shout out to you, Mr. Davis.
Hope you're doing great things, bud.
Yeah. I bet you're still calling it in.
So on the days that they didn't want to do work or what have you came in, they'd roll in this giant TV cart, just had a CRT, big bubble screen, and then always had like a VCR, sometimes VCR DVD duo player. And our premise for today was what movies would typically be on there, which two are our favorite and our runner-up that we remember from our childhood being on there.
Yeah. And do you remember this about the TVs? They were always like the big metal cart, but it had those like those truck security
The cargo
like, strap
straps.
down cargo straps.
Yeah.
You know, some kid got crushed with those TVs.
I
You know
was
what
reading on Reddit. I was reading. Someone actually even put like a link to the news article from when it happened. But some kid died because the CRT fell. Those CRT. I don't know if we have younger listeners. Before we all had flat screens and stuff, those CRT TVs were giant and heavy, man.
And front heavy at that.
Oh yeah, like it would have easily killed someone.
Yeah. You look at a CRT the wrong way, that thing's flopping over.
It's falling over on you. I mean, I remember. This is a little sidecar, but when my grandparents would buy like a new big screen TV, it was like an event.
Yeah.
Like you had to have movers come, like at least 4 or 5 of them.
I mean, the whole fam, get all the cousins in on it.
And especially if they had carpet.
Yes.
Because you know how they have the tiny little
Jesus
dinky
Christ.
wheels on them?
Yes.
And if you had a large carpet like my grandparents did, which was like one that was like 4 inches thick, you know what I mean? Then those wheels won't do anything and they'll just get the carpet caught in them. If you try and push that thing, it's just not going to go anywhere. And all of these TVs were always in like a hard wood encasing of something that was like genuine hickory or something like that. It was just like 70
Dude,
pounds.
they were made heavy as hell. My parents had like a big one growing up, and I hated moving that thing.
Did you ever have one of those mixed that was like a giant wooden console almost that like was like an end table furniture in itself? You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
You know, it was kind of like this tall, maybe 4 feet high or so, and then it had like a nice piece of wood on top, but then it had like elegant carvings on the corner, and then it was all
Shelves
dial.
along the side.
Yeah, shelves on the side.
Yes.
Yeah. Good times. Anyways, going back to our school experience, we're going to talk about those movies. And so Being that I'm the host today, I'm going to give it off to you, Frank, to start it up.
I half expected to be like, I'm going to give it to myself. I thought you were going to pull one of those moves.
I'm being gracious today.
How very thoughtful of you, Danny. For my runner-up film, and this is probably the movie, I would say, if I could go back and do a tally, one of the movies I watched the most in this setting. Like,
okay,
I've seen this movie so many times in school and a few times on my own because I love this movie. 1999's October Sky.
I knew it.
Yeah, get that young Jake Gyllenhaal up in here.
It's funny you mentioned this because I was doing a survey with all of any listeners and any people that I give a crap about their input.
Just random people on the street.
Yeah. I asked David, who's actually on the podcast, so it's not a very good survey now that I think about it. I asked him what was going to be his input, and he said October Sky at least 20 times. He was just like, that's just one they put all the time because of math.
All the time.
Yeah.
But you could do it for math. You can do it in literature if you're reading the book it's based off. You could do it for like any science class. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it's just such a like, it's just a heartwarming, inspiring tale that it's just like, okay, I know I'm not going to get in trouble in any way for showing these kids this movie. Let's lift their spirits and show them this delightful little tale of 4 boys growing up in a mining town in West Virginia who want to achieve greater things beyond what they've been told their whole lives. They're going to end up working in the mine. And, one of them's going to grow up to be a NASA engineer who trains astronauts to fly on space missions.
I have never seen this movie.
You've never seen October Sky?
I've never seen this movie.
Dude, that's wild.
I know.
That's wild.
It was omnipresent. It was, I just guess I dodged all those days.
Yeah, it's so weird that you just missed those days.
I never saw it.
Huh.
So that's weird, right?
Huh.
I mean, it's weird that I know it in the context, but I just never watched it. So...
All right.
So it's one you actually enjoy this movie, though.
Oh,
okay.
I love October Sky. Yeah, that's why it's my runner-up. It was like in the running for top spot, but my top spot is the top spot of my heart. So October Sky, 108-minute runtime with its 7.8 out of 10 on IMDb and then 98% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow.
Made on a budget of $25 million. Had an opening weekend of $5,905,250, but has currently worldwide grossed $34,698,753 American dollars.
And that's because it's been purchased by every school district in the country.
Yeah, seriously.
At least one copy.
But yeah, if you're not familiar with it, it's based on the book Rocket Boys by Homer Hickman Jr.
What a name.
Yeah, right? This guy straight up sounds like his, and it's Homer Sonny Hickman Jr. because Sonny's the name he went by like as a child. But it's pretty cool. It's I delved into the history of this story for the first time really in preparation for the podcast. I was actually listening to an audiobook by Homer Hickman Jr. this morning, and it's just talking about him, the creation of the book, the creation of the movie, and like how it compared to like real life, and it's actually really close to the real life story.
Wow.
And that was exciting. It's super inspiring, but it's not so over the head, a la Remember the Titans. There's a couple spots in the movie where it gets there, but this movie is just a really good collection of like really funny moments, really wholesome moments, and real sad, desperate moments. It like hits all the emotions you could really hit.
All the criteria necessary to be shown in a classroom.
Yeah, and if you got a soft spot for father-son stuff, this one's and not a hard spot. That's not what I'm saying. But if you have a soft spot for father-son stuff, and you feel like having a little tear well in your eye, this one's a good one for that.
This one and Friday Night Lights for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And this one
good father times in Friday Night Lights.
Yeah, well, this one kind of has that too. The main character Homer's dad is the superintendent for the mine. And this is a town that only exists because of the mine. You know what I mean? Everybody there works to serve the mine.
Pretty sure that entire state only exists because of the mines.
Yeah, well, now opiates, but what are you going to do? So sad. But it's really cool. Yeah, his dad's a superintendent, so he's just like this stern dude who's struggle of like trying to take care of his family and his relationship with his wife and all the workers of the mine at the same time, and he's just like very stern with Homer.
Do they all look like Christopher Walken in Zoolander?
Yeah.
All powder faced.
Yeah,
and stuff
a little
like
bit.
That?
The guy that plays Homer's dad, what's his name? Chris Cooper. So he's very like
Chris
he
Krueger.
looks like a guy that works in a mine.
I'm gonna look him up.
He's this gentleman. Look at that face.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I know you know who this guy is.
Yeah. He's that guy.
He's that guy. You also have Laura Dern from Jurassic Park, obviously.
Of famous short shorts fame.
Famous short shorts fame. Gotta love her rocking those khakis. You have Chand Lindbergh, who plays the guy who dies on the drive-by in Fast and Furious. And
I am regrettably unfamiliar.
it's not that regrettable. You'll be all right. And then William Lee, who plays. Have you ever seen Butterfly Effect?
Yes.
Yeah, he's Tommy in Butterfly Effect, the like older Tommy, the one who like comes back to like kill the dog, and then he comes back and tries to kill Ashton Kutcher.
Okay, all right.
Butterfly Effect, what a good time.
That's a
Didn't
good
watch
one.
it in school though, so we're not talking about that.
Darn
today.
it.
It would not have been an appropriate.
Would have
one, I don't
loved
think.
to.
Yeah. So, anyways, I forgot where I was talking about this. But
something about like four brothers in going to each Christmas or something like that.
no, I think that's a different movie. I think that's a collection of different movies, actually. But just a really good time. Really tight runtime. Really good acting jobs. I feel like everybody pulls their weight really well. And it's just so inspiring. It's so good. All the scenes really hit it. One of the best parts when the movie ends, it ends with like actual clips of the like Rocket Boys, like shooting rockets in their hometown, and it ends with the clip of like a NASA launch and stuff. It's cool. So uplifting. It makes you want to chant USA, USA, and make you believe you can do anything. The coolest part of the story is like Homer's like not a good student and he's terrible at math and everybody's telling him like, you're just gonna, like it's your destiny to work in the mine like your dad, you're just a chip off the old block. And he like teaches himself this math from a book about rocket science that his teacher gives him. They enter in the like school science fair and make it to state, and then all of the kids on the team, the like rocket team, got scholarships.
No, you're not part of the turbo team.
You're not part of the turbo team. Yeah, like it's cool. In the real life story, all the kids get scholarships.
Oh, wow.
That's their like ticket out of town.
Imagine hating where you live and what you're destined to be so much that math becomes cool to you.
You like teach yourself trigonometry,
extreme math
in your own time.
yeah.
Like, and this dude did it. You know what I mean?
What a nerd! I'm sorry.
That's a real life story, man. And this dude went on to, he went on to go like serve in Vietnam. He was a scuba instructor, and then now he just like worked for NASA. Well, now he's retired and he just writes, but. This guy's been all over the place, and he didn't start writing this story until after he was already working at NASA. He used to write small editorials for some magazine. They asked him to write a story. He told this story, and it just kind of snowballed from there. People were so interested in the story.
What an eventful life.
And one of the funniest things about the audiobook that I was listening to today is he even talks about like how the response he got, like he's always getting emails from like younger generations, and he's like, I know that every substitute teacher in America has shown this movie in their classroom
No
at least
way.
once. Yeah,
That's hilarious.
because schools show it all the time. It's just one of those movies.
I wonder if that's happened abroad. If it has happened abroad, let us know in the comments. What was your substitute teacher movie, and how many times did you see this movie? Because I happened to see it 0 times.
Yeah, that's so shocking to me, honestly.
I mean, it sounds dope. I'm sure it's good.
You should check it out sometime.
Maybe we'll go back to school just to watch it.
Yeah, maybe. It's probably not worth it to do all that, and I'm pretty sure legally you can't attend like high school.
I have seen a documentary with Adam Sandler in which he does just that, my friend.
I don't think Billy Madison's a documentary. I'm just putting that out there. I don't think it's a documentary, my friend.
God have mercy on your soul.
Yeah. That's pretty much all I got to say about October Sky.
I think Cumboy's here.
Hey! You know that feeling when you think you have a substitute and then your teacher walks in the middle of class?
Yeah, he's just here like drop off a new assignment for everyone to do. And
All
he
right, let's
goes
see
down.
what you guys have been working on while I've been gone. Pencils down, please.
David,
Sit.
do you have any thoughts on October Sky?
You know,
It's so funny that
I haven't seen it since I saw it in school.
Okay.
And in school, I must have seen it 1,000 times.
Right?
It's weird how much it was used. And as a teacher now, I'm almost positive that it's one of those things where, like, it was mentioned at a training or something.
Interesting.
You know what I mean? Like, it's one of these things where it's like, we want people to be interested in math, and this is a great movie that came out.
Well, like it hits
20 years
math,
ago.
it hits science, and if you're not interested in any of those things, it's just like a, hey kid, if you put your mind to it, you
Yes.
can do anything.
Very inspirational kid movie for sure.
Yeah.
I was telling Frank at the beginning of this, it's like when I was asking you what were your TV cart movies, you said this movie like at least 5 times. That it's like it is the ever-present movie.
It's the most, I think, at least of our generation.
I was telling
never
Danny
seen
so
it.
much that the
Really?
author in his, I was listening to his audiobook about like the making of the book and the movie. He was talking about like how he's always getting emails from kids and teachers, and he was himself was like, I'm pretty sure every substitute teacher has shown this movie.
That's
I was
interesting.
laughing to myself this morning about it.
You know, I've been thinking about it, and most of the movies I watched in school, the teacher was there. Which
That's
also,
what I'm saying. It's not always substitute. Sometimes your teacher just needs to catch up on paperwork or something.
yeah. Occasionally, there's a good lesson around it,
Yeah.
but usually it's like, I just want 3 days where the kids aren't talking.
Yeah, or they're
Or
just phoning it in.
whispering at
Yeah.
least. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I had my favorite history teacher ever. We just watched The Patriot at some point. 'Cause
Yeah,
she was just
yeah.
like, this is fun.
We talked about that one, yeah.
That's the first time I saw that movie. I really think I saw
That's
that
cool.
movie in theaters.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure my mom took me. Last of the Mohicans I saw for the first time in a history class in high school, which is sick.
Last of the Mexicans, pretty solid South Park
Yeah,
episode.
pretty solid. You know, I was looking. You made a social media post, Danny, asking people what their
What? No, I didn't.
TV cart movies was. At Danny / I don't know. I was gonna come up with a joke. I'm on the spot here.
Yeah, you failed on that one.
My bad. Oops. I'll take a pass. But anyway, someone put Finding Nemo, and it actually it triggered a memory.
Oh.
And I've seen Finding Nemo at least 3 or 4 times.
I don't
in
believe
school.
you. I'm pretty sure you told us you've never seen any Pixar movie
Well,
ever.
you know what? I saw Toy Story, obviously. You know what I mean? Like as a kid. Was Finding Nemo the next one after Toy Story?
No, there was plenty
there's a
before
pretty big
that.
gap.
What's in
Yeah.
between those?
Toy Story was in 95, and then Finding Nemo was 2006. So it's like,
A Bug's Life's in there, right?
yeah, and that's even.
Or is- no, A Bug's Life?
Bug's Life is the next one after that.
Okay. And then there's like Toy Story 2.
And then, Toy Story 2, and then I think even Cars came before.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because I'm thinking
Cars
of
came
like
before
Cars was
Finding
before
Nemo.
Finding Nemo
Yeah.
because my second oldest nephew's movie was Cars, and then the child after that's movie was Finding Nemo.
Incredibles?
Yeah.
Is that in there
No,
before?
that's 2008, I think.
Okay, that's after.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have seen Finding Nemo if it wasn't for school.
I know there's one that came after Toy Story 2 in between.
Yeah, we're
and-
missing one like a.
Like a big one, too, and
Oh.
I can't remember.
It's not Up because I'm pretty sure Up's 2009.
No, it's after. Yeah, it's after Finding Nemo. Finding Nemo is like the peak of Pixar.
You think so? That's the best one. I mean, that is really.
I don't
good.
think I think it started like everything after that was a banger.
Oh,
much,
I
you
see
know
what
what I
you're
mean?
saying. Okay, it's like the beginning.
Pretty
of
much
The beginning
everything,
of the golden age.
the golden
Yeah.
age.
The golden
But I mean,
age
Toy
of
Story's a
Pixar.
banger too. You know what I mean?
It is.
I don't know how well it's aged though. I haven't seen it in a long time.
It's an interesting story, Toy Story.
There's that whole thing
Yeah.
where like you don't realize the subtext that the dinosaur is actually a neo-Nazi.
Oh yeah. Now that you mention it, all the pieces are falling together.
Yeah.
Classic Disney.
I just wanted to say Cars came out in 2006, Finding Nemo came out in 2003.
5. Oh.
Oh, so Finding Nemo is considerably younger,
Interesting. Huh. I got that wrong.
Yeah, I was thinking. I was like, I don't remember Lightning McQueen being around back then.
Ka-chow!
But I remember Finding Nemo 2003. So what's that like? That would be for
I was
us
12.
7th grade.
Yeah.
7th grade for us.
Yeah, I was 12.
Wow.
That was right around the time we met.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How interesting. So wait. So you did watch Finding Nemo in school?
Yes, I did, and I kind of like blocked it out. But I saw it at least 2 or 3 times because there's a big interlap in like Disney adults and teachers. You know what I mean? Most teachers are female, and for some reason, all the female teachers are Disney adults, which I think is interesting.
Yeah.
A little
Big
strange.
chunk of the Venn diagram there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely some listeners on my side of the family who are cringely Disney. And hey, you do you, but I'm gonna make fun of
Yeah.
you.
My sister's a Disney adult that I can get behind because she like loves Disney with all her heart. But when she's there with her kids, she's like, "This is not a safe place. Do not wander off. Like there are deep dark secrets here."
Yeah, I'm pretty sure my family
This
is the same
is
way.
this is a child trafficking organization.
Wow.
Stay where I can see you.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that they're the same way. But yeah, it is weird. I find it a little cringy when people are like ultra Disney.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have so many of my own weird, fandoms that.
Waifu weeb or Disney adult? Who you trust more?
Well, Danny is a waifu weeb, so this is a little
Yeah,
skewed.
it's kind of tough.
Yeah, we have his stance on Asuka in the permanent folder for the channel.
Whoops.
What folder is that? What else is in that folder?
It's on the publicly released folder. Okay.
It's a folder that says schoolwork.
Yeah, schoolwork.
Blackmail.
When I die, it's set to auto upload.
Yeah. You've got a doomsday device?
Yeah, I have to put in a code every morning to keep it from uploading to
In
the
the
internet.
event of your untimely demise.
Yeah.
Woo! Where were we?
We were just wrapping up the discussion on
Yeah.
October Sky. Yeah,
That
you
was
just
his runner-up.
Yeah.
And we just got in it. Do you have a runner-up?
You know what? I'll be honest. I only had like 2 that I could really, really think of.
That's exactly as many as we need.
Being Finding Nemo would probably be the runner-up because I forgot about it, and October Sky would probably be my number 1. I feel like it is just the substitute teacher
Quintessential
movie.
substitute teacher movie.
I agree. And I was telling Frank, it's so weird that I've never seen that movie, and it's been in every
Wild,
class.
right?
Yeah.
Either it was on and I just didn't pay attention,
Very likely.
which is very likely.
Yeah.
I was probably drawing, like anime and boobs and stuff. So
You were storyboarding your like anime music video that you're gonna make after school.
exactly.
And just to catch everyone up, just to remind you again, this is the guy that was making fun of Disney adults just a little while ago.
Oh man, I would happily rather be like an anime nerd than a cringy Disney adult.
Ooh.
One's gonna cost you considerably less money.
Fair point.
I mean, yeah.
Think about how
A
many
trip to Disneyland's a lot.
and an actual cringy Disney adult. I feel like makes the Mecca trip like once a year at least.
But I mean, a full, off the board weeb is like, let's go to Japan.
yeah,
you know what I
right.
mean?
They never
That's-
go.
that's
they
Mecca.
never go. That's the problem.
That's got to be like 90% of tourists in Japan are weebs.
You know what though? Friend of the channel, Tino, mega weeb. His apartment covered in waifus and little figurines with
That stuff's
huge
pricey, man.
knockers. Yeah,
How many-
but that guy's never been to
I was
Japan.
gonna say, how many times have you been to Japan? How many times has any weeb you know been to Japan?
Let me think. I'm trying to think of all-time weebs.
Yeah.
Like, who's the weebiest guy I know?
Tony.
Tony,
How many times have you been to Japan?
Probably not, but he would go.
He would.
Yeah.
But there's a significant financial barrier.
But aren't you going to go to Japan soon?
yeah. So I'll be the one. I'll be the one.
Yeah, you're pretty high ranked on the
Versus
weeb
how
list.
many cringy Disney adults do you know have been to Disney
But-
in a year?
But it's different because I think Disneyland, aside from just being a Disney adult, it's also just a famous theme park. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's got that allure. Like, even if you're not crazy about Disney, you want to ride Space Mountain. You know what I mean?
I would rather go to Universal Studios. I think I'm done with Disney forever.
Really?
I'm
I
done
think-
for Epcot. I really like Epcot.
I would rather go to their ride centric ones.
I'm a Six Flags man myself.
Ooh, I like Six
You don't have
Flags.
to leave, Texas. You can hit a bunch of great roller coasters.
I mean, you can go to Six Flags all over the country, and some of
Yeah.
them are dope.
I know we're getting off into a skew here, but is Knott's Berry Farm still a thing?
It is.
I guess.
Yeah, I've been there.
I love Knott's Berry
in the
Farm.
last 10
I remember
years,
enjoying that a lot as a kid.
The rides are kind of dated now, but it's still fun. It's still fun. They still have a wooden roller coaster, so that's fun.
I've ridden the wooden roller coaster at Knott's Berry Farm.
Clackety,
I did not
clackety,
have fun.
clackety,
It
clackety,
felt like I got
clackety.
beat up in a parking lot.
It
Kind
hurts.
of painful, man.
Yeah,
it
it was
really
not
hurts.
cool.
Yeah.
I remember being on the Rattler at Six Flags, and that
Yes.
thing hurts, dude.
Yeah. Because they're all metal and stuff. Like the trolley you're
Yeah.
in or whatever is like metal. So you're like clanking around and it's a little scarier. I think it
you-
adds
it
to
is.
it.
It
Well,
does add to the
usually
fear.
on roller coasters, it's a fear thing for me, but on that one, I was like, I want to get off. This hurts.
And my butt
yeah.
is in pain. Yeah.
That has to be what, like, imagine being like, in the Oregon Trail and crossing the country in a wooden wagon.
Dying
With
of
wooden
dysentery.
wheels.
Yeah,
all
with wooden
stupid.
wheels on unpaved ground. Imagine how horrible that ride is.
Jesus. Ugh. For many reasons.
You
That
just
being
stop
one
and
of
do
them.
the hunting mini game. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
I don't even know where we were. I'll go with my runner-up.
Oh yeah, what's your? So you guys are only one movie in. Okay. I got
we
here.
just got in here.
I got here a great time. All
Got it
right.
in the good timing. So I'm going to kind of come out of left field with my runner-up. And I don't know if any of you have seen this movie, but I'm going with 1997's Cats Don't Dance.
No, you mentioned
ever
this
seen this
movie
movie?
recently, and I felt like you had just made it up.
What?
Yeah. It's an animated movie by Warner Brothers about a cat named Danny, an ambitious singing and dancing...
Based.
Right. Absolute based opinion. Danny, an ambitious singing and dancing cat, goes to Hollywood and overcomes several obstacles to fulfill his dream of becoming a movie star. It's a really interesting kind of one-off movie. This movie, like... is I did see this a lot when I was in elementary school, particularly, and then again in middle school. But it's kind of got this weird. It's like a La La Land story.
Oh shit! It's Scott Bakula.
Yeah,
Get
it
the
is.
Bakula.
Yeah, it's got a pretty good cast, and it's actually made by the same animation studio. Sorry, I'm so used to saying those 2 words
You're
next
full,
to
you're
each
full
other.
weave, right?
Yeah.
It's made by the same animation studio and director of Emperor's New Groove, so it actually has the same
That's when you had
feel,
mentioned this movie.
groove, literally, and like the comedy beats are pretty similar to Emperor's New Groove too.
Interesting.
It feels like I'm looking at it on IMDb right now, and it feels like you still could have made this movie up, maybe like in an elaborate,
Like I made the page?
in an elaborate hoax to like get us on camera.
No one look at this is a hosted page. You've
I-
seen this? Grace has seen this.
I've never seen this. Or
Look at that.
did you listen to last episode? I'm assuming. Well, yeah,
I
I'm
did.
assuming you did.
I did.
What are your thoughts on Grace being pro Monkey Bone?
Well, I could see. I
can
used
see
to like
why,
it.
right?
Yeah, I used to like.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
I,
can see
still
why.
kind of like it. It's just an annoying movie in a way. Monkey Bone's annoying, and Nightmare Juice is annoying.
I forgot about Nightmare Juice.
They say that
Nightmare
phrase
juice
so many times.
or you juiced them.
I would rather you juice.
I'd rather. I mean,
Yeah.
You Juice Them is a classic.
It's a channel classic. now.
Although the more I think about the end of that movie and the dead body coming to life, like it makes me chuckle every time I think
It's
about
so
it.
funny.
that part's
Yeah,
really fun.
that is really
the whole
funny.
part where the runner comes back to life, and
I
yeah,
do love
that.
that.
Was really good.
That's good stuff.
There is some gems to take from Monkey Bone. I don't
Yeah.
think it's a terrible movie. I don't think you should just bin it in general, but it's aged pretty bad from when I
a
remember
little bit.
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, sorry to derail things again. I was
That's
just
okay.
like, I need to get Danny's thoughts on this.
On Monkey Bone, yeah. Love it.
It's okay. It's to be expected. We run the least efficiently when all three of us are here.
Yeah, that's true. It's sidetracked for sure.
Yeah, so Cats Don't Dance, it's like kind of like a one-off of the... there's like a weird era of animation where this studio that went on to do Emperor's New Groove, like these are prior, they did other movies like Rock-a-Doodle. I don't know if you've ever seen that. It's
That sounds super familiar, but my memory's just taken over by memories of Chicken Run right now.
Yeah. I mean, similar movie... Chicken Run.
I love Chicken Run,
I
man.
love Chicken Run. That's a great movie.
it's fantastic.
Also one I've seen in school quite a bit.
Army Animations. Those guys are great.
Wallace and Gromit also.
Yeah.
Same
Yes.
thing.
They're doing a short in the new Star Wars Visions.
That's
The
awesome.
new season, they're going to have an episode. It's going to be great.
That's sick.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
Other movies that were around the same time that are kind of similar to this, The Pebble and the Penguin. I don't know if you remember that movie.
Nope.
Dude, you are making movies up.
No, these are real movies, right?
What
This
the
is like
hell?
Christian core.
Nah, they had a conversation about this. I'm not.
Yeah,
trusting
this
us.
is an
Yeah.
elaborate hoax. It feels that way, right? It feels like we're being
I'm
punked.
suspicious of you. This hasn't happened in our relationship before, but
The Quest for Camelot.
Oh.
Quest for Camelot, I do remember.
A Troll in Central Park.
No,
I've
you made that
never
shit
heard
up.
of these movies.
The
dude.
Secret of Nim.
Okay, I've heard of the movie,
Secret
but I've
of
never
Nim.
seen it.
Okay, that's a dope movie. If you've never seen The
It
Secret
looks
of Nim.
like Lord of the Rings / Feifel.
Exactly.
That's
It's
what it
like
looks
a
like.
dark fantasy,
Yes.
Ralph Bakshi
Well,
style.
you know what about Quest for Camelot? I went to see that movie with my mom in theaters,
Oh, that's wild.
and halfway through the movie, the fire alarm went out.
Sick.
Huh.
And then we left the theater, and they gave us a coupon for a free ticket on our next visit. And I've never seen the end of Quest for Camelot.
Well, now's your time.
I guess I should, man. I don't know.
3 other examples. We're Back, which is also an amazing movie.
Solid.
I wouldn't say amazing, but it's okay.
It's an amazing movie.
That's a nostalgia-driven
It is a
take.
hard nostalgia-driven
I
take.
think I
all
watched-
of this is a nostalgia.
Well, I mean, I think I watched this movie with you guys. Maybe you weren't there.
Really?
You might have been living in
I
California.
was for sure with you.
Frank was there. Michelle was there. They were like,
Oh man, I would have loved to see it
they were
with
like,
you.
"We're Back's amazing," and I was like, "I've never seen it." Oh, we're gonna watch so good, and then it's like,
Is it a grind?
I mean,
moment?
it's just
No,
a
it's
kids
not a
movie.
grind.
It's
Yes.
not a grind moment.
Well, I would say that the bulk of it is nostalgia driven, but the like nightmarish like sideshow
Yeah.
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 chunk.
Yeah,
With Professor Screw Eye.
Oh,
That's all right.
so good.
Yeah.
It's the reason for the season.
yeah.
There's also The Brave Little Toaster and All Dogs Go to Heaven. So these are all movies that were kind of by this, not this necessarily the same studio, but in the same vein around when it came out.
Brave Little Toaster is a one too, where like there's a moment of that movie that's like scary when the like furnace is overheating.
I like that like mid to late 90s dark animation style.
Yeah.
Man, I've never seen any of these movies. That's so crazy.
But
to
you
me.
weren't many like an animation person when you were
No,
younger.
which is weird. But I've seen some a lot. Like I watched The American Tales quite a bit.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I've seen Land Before
Fievel?
Time a ton of times.
Yeah. Oh, I love Land Before Time. Yeah.
It's another good dino one.
It is. And you know what? This movie, it's Cats Don't Dance is kind of like it's like a musical mixed in with just like a normal story, like a La La Land, Hollywood grand. It's
So
like
are you telling me the cats do dance?
they do dance.
Well, this seems like a
unfortunately.
lie.
Yeah, that's not a good title.
Kind of a misleading title.
Is it
if
like
you
a
think about
Footloose
it.
scenario? Like people are saying cats don't dance,
Yes,
and they're
that's
like,
like
watch
if-
us dance,
yes.
watch us do it.
That's like if in All Dogs Go to Heaven, you find out that no dogs go to heaven.
Is that really what happens?
Well, you find out that heaven's not real.
Because
that can't be the end of that movie. There's no way.
that doesn't happen because that movie has a good title.
But what if one of the dogs is like a serial killer? You telling me he goes to heaven too?
Yes.
I don't know.
What if one of the dogs like eats someone's grandma? He
Yes.
still goes to heaven? Mm-hmm. This seems like a broken system.
All dogs are good boys.
Yeah.
Even the good girls.
That's
Even
not
the
true.
good girls are good boys.
We're crossing into some weird territory there.
Yeah.
I mean, the basic story of this is it's actually based off a little bit of Gene Kelly's life, and they do like a lot of. Apparently, Gene Kelly was like a consultant on the choreography for this movie.
Oh, okay.
And then he died like not like shortly after. So this is Gene Kelly's last film.
Really?
Maybe.
What's his official? What's his official role?
Yes.
He
A
was
true
a-
Danny Halfback.
Dance consultant.
Choreography consultant. Yeah.
Interesting.
Also, a fun little fact about this movie is it's got Don Knotts in it, baby.
Oh, hell yeah.
I mean, bro, that's what you lead with. You lead with Don Knotts.
Yeah.
No, I can like. Am I convincing you this is a real movie?
I'm gonna
now?
watch this movie now. I'm gonna go home and watch it right now.
You should. It's actually for free on YouTube right now.
Damn. Well, after watching Gus, I have to hit more Don Knotts. Obviously.
He plays a turtle.
Damn. He's a perfect.
Damn.
GW.
That's a good casting. You need a
is.
turtle, you get yourself some Don Knotts.
The humor is great in this movie. There's some solid jokes. It's a nice little 80-minute package too. Just
nice.
perfect to put on. The music's great. Like I said, it's got the same the comedic writers as Emperor's New Groove, so it's snappy, it's quick, it's fun. Really good. I mean, an amazing time. And whenever this would come on in school, I was always stoked. Like I was like, yeah, let's watch Cats Don't Dance.
You would stop carving the that cool S into your desk and pay attention.
Yeah, I would stop doing the 3-line S, the 6-line S.
It's still alive.
It's there.
It's still alive.
Yeah, it's still alive.
Do you
and
see it?
kicking. Oh yeah.
I wonder where they learned it.
It's been going on for forever. I saw some article about it on Reddit. It was like I couldn't give you the dates right now, but it's been going on for so goddamn long. It's been a thing for
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah. So, do you have the numbers on this guy?
I do have the numbers for this one.
right.
6.9 out of 10 on IMDb with a 74% on Rotten Tomatoes. Made on those animation budgets that are going to go up a bit. $32 million. Had an opening weekend flop of $939,781.
Of $939.
Don't worry, they're going to make just a little bit more money with its current worldwide gross of $3,566,600.
Dude, it is a bad flop.
That is a
And it's all those
flop.
all those illegal showings at Danny's school, and they should have been everyone buying a copy.
That's true. Maybe it was a pirated copy that just got perpetuated, through the system. somewhere.
probably somebody
But,
recorded it on TBS or something on their
Yeah.
VHS player.
I guess I'm not surprised that not many people have seen it. I am surprised that you've seen this movie.
I've seen it once. I know exactly what you're talking about because it's hard to forget once you've seen it.
Are you born in 95?
I was born in 97.
You were born the same year that Cats Don't Dance came out. This
Yeah.
is wild.
Yeah.
That's cool. Did they show it at church or something?
Yeah.
Damn. I'm telling you,
Weird.
this is Christian core. Because I'm pretty sure I saw this in my Catholic school when
You were in a Catholic elementary
for
school.
a little while.
Okay,
For a little
this
while.
makes more sense.
Yeah, but I mean, I did see it at the public system too. So
Yeah, not once. This
There was-
movie, I just became aware of this.
there was
this
like
year.
a proliferation of this type of animation at this time. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
mid 90s, it was just like some one-off animated movie that.
Yeah.
and I think it was to compete with Disney. It really was.
Well, yeah, and to put it into context too, I mean, Disney was just coming back. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
they made Aladdin.
They were dead for a long time.
I think Aladdin was the thing that sparked it.
Yeah.
Oh no, Little Mermaid was.
Little Mermaid,
was
and then you got
the-
Aladdin, then like a Lion King.
yeah.
So you got a bunch of stuff like that. So yeah, there's probably a bit of an arms race.
Beauty and the Beast. Yeah, that's like golden era. It's what they're remaking into, what's the word? Live action films that look terrible.
Quote unquote live action.
Yeah.
Man, I let my family talk me into go and see that a lot of movie. What
Was it terrible?
It sucks so hard.
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
I don't understand the purpose of it. To be honest, like I don't understand the purpose because they're just doing almost everything word for word.
Well,
Right?
the
Well,
purpose is Disney adults. We're back to
That's
people
true.
who will spend
But
money
who
on
wants to
Disney.
see
And it's
that,
to
you know?
refresh the stranglehold on the IP.
I guess
Like
so.
if you come out of it again, you
Oh.
get to
Yeah, because they only have so many years on an IP.
Yeah, not to yeah, that's a great point.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's the business purpose
But
of doing
it's also the legal aspect. But then the other aspect is we need to make sure that this generation loves Aladdin and Lion King also.
because it's not like we can revamp the entire park to like have new IPs
Yeah,
in it too.
yeah. Which I mean, they do add new
Sometimes.
stuff. But think about like what is it, Raya and the Last Dragon?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Who
So-
even cares about that?
The Good Dinosaur. Like some of these
Yeah.
movies are not going to be classics. But I mean, you have like a Coco or
Yeah.
Inside Out. You have some stuff
They're
that does
killing it
have
on
stay.
that. Yeah, and that's Pixar, right? No,
I think no. Coco is. I'm pretty sure it's
no,
Disney.
it's just Disney and Encanto too.
No,
Encanto's another big
Coco
one.
is Pixar.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, because we sold the guitars at GC for a while, and
They
I
are
remember
Pixar.
seeing the Pixar logo on there.
It's What If Mexicans Had Feelings.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes,
yeah.
yes.
What's the new one that you're doing has feelings? There's a new Pixar movie that they got coming out that is a weird premise. It is a weird premise.
Oh,
One of the last ones is What If Feelings Had Feelings.
yes.
I can't remember. What's the latest Pixar movie coming out, Grace?
Damn, hit young Grace over there.
I know, yeah, it's putting her to work today. I'm sorry. So that was my runner-up. So that's gonna lead us on over to your number
My
one.
top,
Yeah,
my
your top.
favorite of all time. Well, I have a gem. Oh, first we have an answer.
Lightyear.
Lightyear. That's the
No,
newest
that one already came out.
Yeah.
I guess what's the upcoming Pixar movie?
God, use your words, man.
I'm sorry.
That's what I'm here for, Grace. It's okay.
I'm not good with word.
Big word. Difficult. Difficult's a pretty big word, though.
It's funny because just as a little sidecar, whenever
Elemental.
that's the one.
Oh, what if elements have feelings? Dang.
Technically, that one was already released on March 28th.
Really?
2023.
Huh.
So that's like the newest.
Huh. Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. It's it's What If Elements Had Feelings. It looks so bad.
That does sound bad.
But yeah, that's where we're at. What's your number one substitute teacher day movie?
For my number one, I have 1983's The Outsiders, y'all. Boom.
Oh, weird.
boom,
Okay.
Never
boom.
seen this movie.
You've never seen The
What?
Outsiders?
Never seen this movie.
What?
What movie is this? I gotta look this up.
What?
What? You don't even know what The Outsiders is?
I do not.
Dude, that's weird. When did you grow up?
We went to the same school.
I thought we were the same age.
This is this is like not knowing what To Kill a Mockingbird is.
Dude,
you know what I
that's
mean?
I love that. Have you
weird,
seen
man.
that movie?
Oh, it's
in
a great
school?
movie, actually.
Yeah.
But I think that was one that was like part of class.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're
You
telling
know?
me you didn't even read The Outsiders? Like, I remember reading this in middle school, and that was the first time I
on
saw
HBO
it in
Max?
school.
Well, Danny's still
Yeah, it
working
is on
on
HBO
reading.
Max.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Michelle hasn't seen this movie
Oh,
either,
Matt
which
Dillon.
I've given her a hard time
You
for.
know
Dude,
what?
they're so not. Everybody's in this
I
movie.
Well,
think-
it's like a big chunk of the Brat Pack.
Yeah.
You know what I
I
mean?
think
Those guys.
and I think my brother-in-law Raul, when I did that survey online, I think he only did a GIF reply of Matt Dillon, and I was a little confused.
Yeah.
That might have been what this was from.
In The Outsiders, it's like a group of high school kids, and during school one day, the Russian army invades. They airdrop into it, so the gang goes off into the mountains.
No, this is before they move to that mountain town. So
Yeah,
they
yeah,
move
yeah.
away from the mountain
Oh, it's
town
a
to get
prequel
it
to
from
the
the hustle and
Wolverines?
bustle
Yeah, yeah.
of the city.
Aw.
It's the greasers versus the Socs, and after the gang rivalry, they have to move out, and then the Russians come.
Then the Russians come.
Yeah, it's a snowball. It's a snowball effect. Dude, there's so many people in this movie that there's a young Tom Waits in this movie.
What?
Like,
Yeah,
This
and
cast is crazy.
and a young
Yeah.
Tom Cruise.
See
Yeah,
Thomas Howell.
I try to ignore the Tom Cruise, but it's hard.
On the bright side, Tom Cruise is not in a lot of this movie.
Not in a lot, but when he's in it, he's in it a
Yeah.
lot.
Yo, you got P. Swayze up in here too.
Obviously.
You got Rob Lowe looking
a
exactly the same.
pre-dead
back
Patrick
then.
Swayze.
Yeah. He's alive in this movie. That's
You got
a big one.
Emilio.
Yeah.
A pre-blackface Thomas C. Howell.
Yeah. So
Leif Garrett.
a lesser Tomasino. Ralph Macchio.
Yeah.
It is most of the cast of Red Dawn.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
It's kind of crazy.
Truly.
I'm looking at the entire
Even,
cast right now. You got Flea in here.
The guy that ends up being the traitor mole in Red Dawn is one of the Soshas, the like curly haired tall kid.
Yeah.
How crazy.
This is a true coming of age movie.
It really is.
Yeah.
Delightful coming of age story about the struggles of the rich side and the poor side of town and how they all just really like none of it really matters, but they're at the point where they like these kids are jumping each other and stuff. Set in like the 1950s.
Yeah.
Really get that like greaser aesthetic.
Nice.
Everybody's hair's combed so well.
This is like the movies that I was watching when I as a child when I wasn't watching animated movies. You know what I mean?
Dude,
It was like
I
Outsiders.
love the Outsiders.
Goonies.
Yeah.
Some Red Dawn, obviously. A little bit older for Red Dawn.
The
But
Warriors.
I used to talk about The Outsiders so much that our dear friend Jake gave me one of S.E. Hinton's other books called Rumblefish, and it's still got some of like The Outsider. He like the main character comes across like Ponyboy Curtis and a bunch of the characters from The Outsiders. It's really cool.
yeah.
I mean, it sounds cool.
I'm going to watch it.
Dude, it's so good. You should really check it out.
It's
sometime.
weird that both your picks I've just not seen.
Yeah, it's super weird.
Well,
and
your
one of
pick
yours
we
is
haven't
made
seen.
up.
Yeah.
No, I have confirmation.
Grace saw The
Yeah.
Outsiders for the first time today. She,
did you?
okay.
Nice.
Yeah,
Did you like
was
it?
a fan.
It was really good.
Yeah.
Worth the watch.
Nice.
Oh, so good.
I mean, I love the cast. And the premise sounds great too. So.
And just like my first pick, October Sky, it's got the really good chance of like giving you the single tear.
Aw.
Like it'll hit that moment where you're just like,
Yeah.
oh wow. You think you hit peak sadness, and then the movie like ends it on such a beautiful poetic note that you just like
It's
almost hit it.
it's
Yeah.
the Booby Miles moment.
Dude, it's so good, man. It's sweeter than the Booby Miles moment, really.
Yeah, the Booby Miles Mose is really sad.
Yeah.
And that's just like,
Who am
oh,
I supposed to play football for now?
Who paying you?
you said we were going to go to the pros.
I also
I'll
feel
go
like
buy you a house.
this is almost one of the best book adaptations. Like they hit so many direct lines from the book.
Nice.
So they do a really good job. My one complaint with The Outsiders has always been though that like the pacing on it feels a little bit weird. It's a little bit rushed.
It's a little too much story for one movie almost.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? It's a great example of how like the pacing of a novel just does not translate to movies 100%.
like it's a super tight 91-minute runtime.
Wow.
Which I feel like
That
is an
seems short.
injustice to
Yeah.
the book. It's not a very long novel either. It's a pretty short novel.
Yeah.
You read it like in middle school. But a mini series would have been really nice.
Yeah.
An Outsiders mini series.
Or even just a full-fledged 2-hour movie.
Yeah.
Might have been able to swing it. You're right though. This is a good adaptation for sure.
Yeah, and I definitely watched it as part of reading the book as a class, but there were a couple of times this was a substitute day movie, and I could not contain my excitement enough.
Nice.
Getting
That's
to watch
sick.
The Outsiders.
Well, good pick.
That's
Yeah,
shit.
dude.
I think that's a solid pick.
And I don't want to get into it too much because like you've never experienced it, and it's so good, dude.
Go
It's
ahead.
honestly so much.
No,
No, really,
can't.
like
you really
okay.
can't,
like
man.
the drama's excellent. There's like some really solid laughs, and you really feel it's like the coming of age camaraderie that you feel like with the family unit, and then the like family that's not family unit, the struggle between the different classes. Like it's so good, man.
Nice.
It's so good.
Nice.
And it's just like an 80s gem. It's like if we opened up a time capsule from the 80s, this would be a good thing to come from there.
There's like some of us, like each three of us, we kind of have like a particular film void that we didn't experience, you know what I mean? And like for me, remember it's like the Lost Boys and like
A lot of
kind of this
80s
age.
movies.
But I have seen a lot of 80s
Yeah,
movies,
yeah,
but it's
yeah.
like there's certain
You're
there's
missing a couple of
spots.
them, and I don't know exactly how to describe it.
I don't know either. It's kind of like
Because you were missing the Bill and Ted's,
Yeah.
the Warriors, the Lost Boys,
Yeah.
this one. Oh, the Warriors is 79, but it's pretty dang close.
Well, and then even that's right. Yeah, well then like with you, there's like the
If they
Disney
hadn't
Disney
rushed through
animation
that production,
Yeah.
they might have
or Disney movies in general, kind of.
yeah, or just like kids movies. I didn't really
Kids
watch a lot
movies.
of kids movies.
And with Frank, it's like anything good.
Yeah, a lot
And-
of good stuff. He's missing a lot of that. For both of you, The Godfather. Which
That's true. That was a big hole in my life.
We've rectified that, so that's good.
I do feel more whole as a person.
Don't you? I mean, it's
after
an
having
experience.
watched
It's
both. Because I haven't watched the third one, and I'm
Yeah.
never gonna watch.
I was
the
gonna
third
say
one.
I felt more whole, but now I have a hole having watched the third.
When I was listening to the last episode, and you were having the Godfather conversation, and I was like 100% never gonna watch Godfather 3.
straight up, dude. I mean, if you could, you know. That's the way to live life, I think.
true.
With no regrets.
Yeah. If I could have stopped someone from watching Alien Resurrection, no, it's one. Yeah, Resurrection. Yeah, don't ever watch.
If I could have stopped myself from watching most of the Alien franchise,
Dang.
and for unforeseen events, I didn't even come on that episode of the podcast. Total waste of time.
Yeah.
The Alien franchise.
You know, if I could wipe away any memory of watching Dirty Work, I think I'd be happier.
Yeah, I
think it
feel
took-
like I could go back in time.
Oh, Dirty Work.
It took part of my soul, I think.
Yeah, you suggested that movie.
No,
Right?
No,
Frank
it was us.
did.
Oh.
It was us.
Me?
Yeah,
I think it was
you and
just
I.
Frank.
Not me.
I'm pretty sure it was me. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was you, and
like-
then other Frank in your head.
And then we were
Yeah.
kicking ourselves for being like, April Fools, we should have done the Jackass film
Yeah.
franchise. What were we talking
yes,
about?
that's right. God, that was
That's
the
what it
worst
was.
movie. Dirty Work, so
Yeah.
bad.
And I'm sure it has like 2 views or something too. You know what I mean?
Just such a waste of time.
Whoops.
Speaking about lifelong regrets, let's get on to my choice.
Wait, do you not like this number 1 movie?
No, I'm just my
Okay.
life is a regret.
Oh, fair enough.
I was
Fair
going to
enough.
say, you did this wrong.
Yeah, I was gonna say
No,
something too.
I've done this right.
Just the last couple of notes for the Outsiders,
yes.
really just stats. Obviously, the book, S.E. Hinton, but the screenplay was by Kathleen Rowell, which
Love
she's
her.
done nothing that I've heard of, which I think is the weak spot. That's the weak spot from transforming it to the book to the screenplay, because it's directed by Francis Ford Coppola. So
Is
I mean,
it?
yeah, not it's not his fault.
No.
Yeah,
And that
One
is-
thing is his fault, and that's Godfather 3.
That explains the.
that's nepotism. Yeah, nepotism.
that explains like him killing a horse on screen at the end of The Outsiders. That it's Francis Ford Coppola makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, he's got to put his mark on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look what they did to my boy.
And that's animal violence. Have you guys ever seen Apocalypse Now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's that scene of them like butchering that cow.
Oh, I know.
And it's
yeah.
like, dang, Francis Ford Coppola, how you doing this to me?
I've
man?
seen
loves killing
Apocalypse
animals.
Now, and I've also seen Apocalypse Now while homesick from school, like in a fever. So, like at one point, I fell asleep, and then one point, I woke up in a daze of like NyQuil and feverish.
Was it during like a fever dream part of the movie? or
Yes,
what?
dude, what an experience! Yeah,
You like woke
a
up
wild
and
movie.
Sheen's just destroying the room. You're like, what is happening?
I woke up to where did I wake up? Brando in the cave.
Oh, dang,
yeah.
dude.
Yeah,
It's been a while since I've watched it.
Speaking of school, though, Heart of Darkness sucks, right? Is it just me?
The
reading
movie?
Heart of Darkness
No,
or the
I love
book?
that book.
Oh, I hate that
Really?
book, dude.
That's weird.
That's one of the most painful
Did
reading
you ever watch that?
experiences.
Read that
familiar.
book? No, the
Well-
Joseph Conrad.
Yeah, Joseph Cameron. Well, it's Apocalypse Now. You know
Actually,
what I mean?
like,
It's an adaptation.
wild. How did I never put that together? I'm so dumb.
today I learned.
This is wild.
Yeah.
Woo. Anyway,
Anyway,
Danny, your number one pick.
my number 1 pick is going to be a movie that is extremely near and dear to my heart. It is 1996's James and the Giant Peach.
Oh, dude, yes, excellent pick, Danny. This might be the best work you've ever done.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's good.
That's interesting. I don't think I ever watched this one in school, but I have
No?
seen this movie.
Did you ever watch it in school that you can recall?
Maybe.
Probably.
I probably did, and I just don't remember elementary school.
Yeah.
I feel like
What
it
about-
would be a movie that you would watch in school, though.
Yeah.
Like I don't have a specific
yeah.
memory of it, but
could
I feel
see
like
it in
this
the
is a valid
stack
pick.
next to the DVD player.
Yeah.
Like that's on there. Did you ever watch this?
For school.
For school. Oh, because it's because of the. Oh yeah, because it's the book adaptation too. I've never read the book. I
have.
Sam is
Same.
a huge Roald Dahl fan, and she's read like almost all of Roald Dahl.
No, that's interesting. We should have a conversation about it.
So when I suggested watching this movie, she was like stoked, and I was like, awesome, and like,
Yeah.
dude, this movie's so good, and it's still so good. This movie
Another
slaps.
really good kids movie with like a nightmarish, like truly scary scene.
You know, as the someone who's recently read like half of Roald Dahl's, like, that's when I started reading the twins. Like their first book was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. And I read a crap load of them, but all the Roald Dahl books are so twisted.
They're weird.
And there's always this
Yeah.
sense of like danger for the children.
Yeah.
And to the point where like in the NICU, I'm over here reading Matilda, and there's like a scene where, you know, he like picks up the girl by the pigtails and swings her around.
Yeah.
Trunchbull throws her through the air. And some of the
The
nurses,
hammer throw.
Yeah,
Yeah,
some of the
yeah.
nurses are like, "What are you reading right now?" Because there's like
Matilda, bro.
scary
Yeah.
passages, you know, like getting
Yeah.
locked in the choke.
Don't worry, I'm waiting till 18 months till I start reading them The Walking Dead comic book series.
But James and the Giant Peach has some like very well. I haven't seen the movie since I was a little kid.
Yeah.
But the ants are so
They're weird.
Like they're miserable and evil. You
Yeah,
know
they
what I
are.
mean? And that's a classic.
Well, they even
doll
say
move.
some really weird stuff, like
Really?
almost like what they're gonna do to him and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of like torture-y. I didn't read the book. Do you feel like it's a kind of a faithful adaptation? Because you've read the book too, right?
We didn't actually read the book. We watched the movie instead.
Oh, you watched it? Okay. So I wonder.
Homeschool.
I wonder. I don't know.
Well, you know what's funny is that I can't remember the last time I watched the movie. I was like 8 or 9.
Yeah.
And honestly, I was reading all the doll books, and then I was planning on doing some content of like, let me just watch all the doll movies. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because I wanted to do some tier list videos, but I stopped because I couldn't get through BFG.
Really?
I got halfway through the book, and it's just
That's like one of Sam's favorites.
You know what? I don't know what it is about it, but the other thing too is like the witches drags a lot.
The book?
The book.
Oh, okay. I was like, that movie slaps, dude.
See, and I've never seen that movie.
Whoa.
So it's like
I've also never seen that movie.
Some of these I really wanted to
That movie slaps.
compare. You know what I mean? But I read like 6 or 7 Roald Dahl books in a row, and I got to BFG, and I'm just a little burned out, I think,
sure.
on it. But I'm gonna come back to it.
I mean, there's a lot of like Roald Dahlisms in here,
Yeah.
and reading it, and it's just like it kind of goes over your head when you're a kid. But I'm like watching a movie, and I'm always just like, wait a second, a giant rhinoceros in the sky, in a storm cloud, is what killed your parents. But I was reading some of the trivia on this, and I didn't know this, but in part of the design of the movie, the little mascot that's on the front of the car that the ants drive is a rhino.
Oh, that's interesting.
So it's like, did the ants kill the parents? And
Who does the rhino work for?
Who do you work for?
I'm gonna watch this for sure.
Dude, it's great. It's on Disney Plus.
The book's one of my favorites.
Yeah?
James and the Giant Peach as the book is
Is it just wild?
well, it's just so imaginative, man,
Yeah.
and that's what I love about Roald Dahl is like the places he goes and the imagination. And I love the spider and all the
Yeah.
The
insects and
spider's
everything.
great. Like the movie's so visually pleasing. Like even the way the peach looks when he's eating
Oh,
it from
yeah.
the inside just
Yeah.
looks so succulent and
What
juicy.
a perfect mix of stop motion and live action, just seamlessly done together.
Is it Tim Burton?
It's produced by Tim Burton.
Ah, okay. So
Yeah,
it's not
that
his
makes
movie.
sense.
Not legitimately his movie, but
It's got that flavor.
It's
yeah, it's got
there's-
the Tim Burton filter.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's one of the same companies because it does have like an Easter egg of Jack
gonna
Skellington
say.
in there.
And apparently Tim Burton loves Roald Dahl because
Yeah.
he's also on the
Charlie and the
Chocolate
Chocolate
Factory.
Factory,
And I think Tim Burton has that very big similarity about like magical stories that are also kind of dangerous.
Yeah.
Like things aren't safe, and that's kind of part of the allure of the world.
Yeah.
So I think they're a really nice match.
This is it's a weird movie because there's some colorful nature to it, how it is overall, but it's very drab in general. Like the island that the ants live on, I mean, it's very drab. There's like almost like a post-industrial revolution look to everything too. This also takes place in like 1940 something, I think like 49 or something like that.
Do the ants live on an island in the ocean?
Yeah.
I think in the book it's like an island in the sky.
Is it really?
They live in like the clouds or something.
That's weird.
I don't remember if it's ants, but there's definitely a scene with like cloud people.
Huh.
Like a whole society living in the clouds that they find because they're floating up in the air.
I mean, it goes all over the place. They're like literally flying the peach in the air.
Yeah.
And it's like
Really interesting. It's been so long since I've read the book or seen the movie that I feel like I need to do one of them.
You know,
Or both.
Why not?
the music is so good in this movie. The music is
See,
fantastic.
I don't even remember the music.
Really?
At all. Are they singing
How's the
songs?
music in the book?
Me.
music
There's
in the book's
original
great.
songs. Yeah, there's original
What?
songs
Okay,
for the
I'm
movie.
gonna
It's
watch
great. It's really good. The songs are awesome. You got a dynamite cast. You've got some really great UK based casts for the most part. You got Joanna Lumley, Pete Postlethwaite, Simon Callow, Jane Leaves of Frasier fame.
Ooh.
Daphne.
No.
Miriam Margolyes, I think I am saying her tonight. But then you got some American stars like Richard Dreyfuss playing the centipede.
Okay.
Susan Sarandon is the spider.
Love Susan Sarandon.
David Thewlis, Lupus.
Lupus.
Yeah, he's
Strangely enough, I just finished reading Prisoner of Azkaban.
dude. That's my favorite Harry Potter.
I
book.
took a break from Doll and I went to Harry Potter.
Isn't it awesome?
That's what I've been reading the kids.
Isn't it Prisoner of Azkaban?
I'm loving it.
It's amazing, right?
Yeah.
I love it. It's my favorite book. From the series, I mean. Not in general.
I've only read 3 books, but it's my favorite.
I've only read Sorcerer's Stone. Anyways, it's an amazing movie, and it's one movie that this movie was in development for 12 years.
Wow.
A long time, and it's obviously, I mean,
Long.
it takes a long time because of the stop motion, and
Yeah.
originally they wanted to do all of it stop motion. But in order to help with like the budget and all that stuff, and to actually get it made, they had to actually intertwine like live action into it too.
I don't even remember there being live action scenes in this movie.
There is a lot. That's
All
crazy.
I remember is the animation part.
That's crazy.
I own this movie too. I'm gonna go watch it.
Well, yeah, it's all like real life before he like
What?
climbs into the peach.
Dude.
And then at the end, it's real life too.
transition
Yeah.
is like super cool. That's one of the things.
Are you guys
I
sure you're
remember the
not
most.
thinking of Wizard of Oz?
Yes.
You're not getting your movie wires crossed? Okay,
I
well.
hate that movie.
Really?
No, I don't hate it. It's just like,
Well, it's like you've probably seen it too many times.
Yeah.
Like everyone.
It's movie history though.
Yeah, you got it. I mean, it's essential. It's
It is essential watching.
what's the word?
criterion?
No, what's the
quintessential?
No. It's an American classic.
It's an American classic. Yeah, man. I mean, this movie's incredible, and I think it's going to continue to be like badass for the rest of my life. I'm glad that this has been my first time watching it in at least a decade. I would say it's been a long time since I've watched this movie, but it was badass.
I'm so pumped about Doll. I got to know, do you guys have a favorite Roald Dahl story or book?
Chocolate Factory.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be the.
And then the
Chocolate
Glass
Factory
Elevator
one,
is really
too.
good too, but it's been a long time since I read it.
I got to say, I think movie-wise, it's still Willy Wonka because of Gene Wilder's amazing performance. But I think Matilda's got me, dude. I love Matilda.
Matilda's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
I was gonna say also a really solid movie.
The movie adds some nice touches that aren't in the book, like the FBI agents who are following Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
Those characters don't exist.
Huh.
So they added a nice little spot to kind of fill out the plot some more.
Also has an amazing original score.
Yeah, it is good. I wonder who did it. Probably
I don't know.
probably someone solid, but
But I mean, most of the movies are awesome. I asked Sam about this too. I was like, what'd you think of the BFG, the Steven Spielberg one?
I heard it's bad.
I heard it's terrible.
What did she say?
She said she didn't even give it a shot because she loves the first one so much.
Yeah, there's an animated BFG
Yeah.
movie, right?
Yeah, she said she really loves that one.
It's interesting because almost every doll book that has been adapted now has 2 adaptations.
interesting. Yeah, The Witches too.
Yeah,
Weird.
The Witches has 2.
I heard the
BFG
second
has
one's
2.
not bad too.
Yeah,
heard it's okay.
well, I've heard good things about the first one. I've never seen either, but
Charlie and the
Dude,
Chocolate Factory.
yeah.
You guys should
ass.
definitely, yeah.
Matilda has 2 now.
Matilda has two.
Oh, they did one recently.
The musical came out.
Yeah,
That's
which I
on-
heard is actually pretty good.
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
There's a classic like it's not a meme, but I guess it's like a meme video where they like do the Matilda dancing scene in the new one to like the heaviest metal possible.
Oh, that's
fun.
beautiful.
And it looks great. Like they did it to Meshuggah's Bleed.
Nice.
And it is amazing.
Nice. You could plug in Meshuggah's Bleed into so many different videos. It's
That Wolf of
very-
Wall Street
yeah.
one's still fantastic.
yeah.
though.
Do you guys know what Meshuggah means?
Crazy.
Yeah, I looked it up the other day,
Hasidic.
and it's like
Or Hebrew.
Yiddish.
Yiddish.
Yeah, it's like
that's right.
Yiddish slang for.
That's also one of the first times we've said a Meshuggah around you, and you didn't immediately hit Meshuggah.
Meshuggah, yeah. Which cracks me up even more because I was always making a Yiddish joke, and I was like, "Oh, it is Yiddish. That makes sense."
Yeah.
You were making a Yiddish word even more Yiddish.
Yeah, Meshuggah.
Yiddisher.
Some people do say Meshuggah though.
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
I've
Larry
heard that.
David does. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know anything about Yiddish, so sorry for anyone listening. This is like,
Sorry for all the people we just offended. It's my fault. I'll take the blame.
What's the numbers on this guy, man?
James and the Giant Peach with its 80-minute runtime. Wow, that is a tight little package. It's a tight little peach.
Thank you. I worked hard on it.
Currently has a 6.7 out of 10 on IMDb
Ooh, that's
and
low.
91% on Rotten Tomatoes.
more like
That's
it.
a lot of
Interesting.
positive reviews.
Okay.
Yeah, what a change.
Again, you got that animation budget of 38 millions. Had an opening weekend of 7,539,000.
Wow, in the weekend.
And has gone
That is
on
pretty
to almost make all its money back except for a tiny little margin of $10 million with $28,946,000
Wow.
worldwide gross.
This is a lower tier Disney movie for sure. It is Disney, right? Am
It
I
is.
mistaken?
It's on Disney Plus right now.
Yeah, it's one that's not as well regarded as the others. For
That's
I don't,
crazy.
For I'm not
'cause
sure what
it's
reason.
so good.
It's just not I guess it's not that popular anymore.
Well, they are re-releasing all the Roald Dahl books, but getting rid of all references of fat shaming,
Yeah, he does like doing that.
which is
yeah.
funny. Yeah, that is a running. That's another interesting thing about reading Dahl is that it's like you really catch his rhythm. Like there's always some little fat kid they make fun of.
There's Augustus Gloop, and then there's another Augustus Gloop in Matilda with the chocolate cake kid. Or you know which one I'm talking about, right? Yeah.
Bruce.
Yeah, Bruce. That's the one. Yeah, I guess I never really realized that.
Yeah, and he's also got a bit in every book where it's like he has a little tangent of making up words.
Mm-hmm.
Like there'll be a character who just starts making up words for like the same joke. It's the same joke in every book. It's really weird, but it's good. I still love it.
He does make some good words up, like a pernicious knit.
Vermicious knit.
Vermicious knit.
Yeah.
The scrumdiddlyumptious bar.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite Roald Dahl book? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, let us know.
And why is it the Twits?
I've never read that.
That's fun. It's cute. It's very short.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my number one.
That's delightful.
You guys are done, right?
That's ours, yeah.
Can I hit just some dishonorable mentions?
Oh, I have a lot, actually.
Yeah, because here's the thing. Most of these that I watched, I didn't enjoy, which is part of the reason why.
You know what's something I feel like a lot of people didn't enjoy, but I did enjoy on a lot of these like substitute teacher days, like How It's Made and like like all those.
I was actually I had some shows.
Love those.
So like the honorable mentions for shows would be Wishbone, obviously.
Yes.
And I asked Sam about this. I was like, "Did you guys have Wishbone?" Obviously they didn't. And I was just like, I was pitching.
British people can't have wishes.
I was pitching the premise of Wishbone to her, and she was just like, this sounds like someone's on cocaine. And I was like, it is a Jack Russell Terrier who dresses up historically and takes you through time.
Yes.
It's amazing. So Wishbone is amazing. The Magic School Bus.
Okay.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Oh, obviously.
Reading Rainbow with LeVar Burton.
Okay.
National Geographic of any kind. Arthur always was coming on. Always.
Okay.
That was almost always on. Sesame Street of some sort. And Schoolhouse Rock.
Oh, yeah. I definitely seen a lot of Schoolhouse Rock, but usually it's always to teach a lesson again. It's like, guys, we're talking about bills. Let's watch this,
I'm just a bell on Capitol Hill.
It's you couldn't show that today.
No, they would be like, what is this?
No one would be able to pay attention to it.
Not only that,
where's the whole part about like lobbying and super PACs?
Oops. When I was a junior in high school, in English class, we were studying tropes. And our teacher was like, let's watch an episode of Supernatural. Let's watch the first episode because he had the first season on DVD to study story tropes or whatever. I mean, it's a little shoehorned, the lesson.
That teacher just really likes Supernatural. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
I was like, what lesson? Sam loves Supernatural too.
But we watched Supernatural and then like it got into a thing where it was like there'd be a day where we weren't doing anything and everyone would be like, let's watch Supernatural. And then
teacher's like yes.
And then he'd be absent and he would like leave Supernatural. So we watched most of the first season of that show in that English class. And the first season's tight. Supernatural loses me a little bit when it gets.
I liked the first season.
Very like angels and.
Yeah.
I prefer it when it's like X-Files.
Yeah, when it's just like, we're hunting a Wendigo.
Yeah, every episode is just
some cryptid or something.
Woman at the river, that kind of stuff. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, the first season's good.
Yeah,
and I never cared enough to keep going on.
Yeah.
It's funny. Every time I think about Schoolhouse Rock, I think about that Family Guy parody that was the Vagina Junction. What's your function?
Oh yeah,
taking in sperm and spitting out babies.
Wow, we're unlocking a lot of memories in my head.
Yeah. Dang. Yeah, I tried to explain Schoolhouse Rock to Sam, and she was just like, interesting. And I was like, yeah, I don't think it would be a hit today.
Yeah, well, it's like Parliament doesn't rhyme as well. You know what
I mean? I mean, for some movie mentions, did you have movie mentions we were going to say?
David had some dishonorable mentions.
Go ahead.
Yeah, okay, well, dishonorably, I'm sorry, Grace, but I'm going to start off with Night Before Christmas.
I thought you were going to say Veggie Tales.
That was a movie that we watched a lot. I know you're a big Tim Burton person.
It happened on mine too.
I'm there with you on Nightmare Before Christmas.
I can't get more than 15 minutes into that movie. I fall asleep every time.
This is Halloween, David.
That's when I fall asleep. It's not very far.
Wow.
And then I'm like, this movie just kind of sucks. And then that's it. And people are so fervently in love with it that it's like, I can't take it. So
I was gonna say, don't worry. On this couch, we're not pro Nightmare Before Christmas. And then I also noticed you're matching this couch quite well. You're just a few shades.
Wait, where's David?
It's actually why. Yeah. That's why I got rid of this couch. Actually, because I love this.
All of your outfits match it.
I also got to hit Drumline.
It's
movie
on
that
here.
I can't watch.
I hate that movie.
It. I also hate the like, oh, he's so amazingly talented, but he just can't read music. And he's like, so he can't sit down for 30 minutes?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not
very
It's
easy.
not difficult to read music.
Especially not for drums.
For snare drum?
Yeah, for a snare drum.
Oh, I can't read.
One line.
Yeah. 1 T teta, 2 T, 3
It's
T,
just
4 T
rhythm.
teta.
I got a thing for you, buddy. It's just one line.
Yeah. You're playing Donkey Konga analog. You know what I mean? It's not that hard. Man.
Ooh, every marching band teacher listening to this is just like.
So yeah, those two, and then. Oh no, I had a third one, but I forgot, so it wasn't that important.
Remember the Titans.
Remember the Titans. That was what it was.
I could
That's on
feel
here.
that's what it was. Yeah.
I was so glad. I knew no one was going to say it.
Because
but
I know I
like-
love Remember the Titans, and I know how much you hate Remember the Titans.
It was put on at least 5 or 6 times in public education.
A year, at
And
least.
I can't take it.
Oh, you know what?
And
And dunking on Danny, because he talked about this in the original discussion, Rudy sucks.
Yeah,
Rudy
Rudy's
sucks.
also on here.
Yeah, Rudy's boring as hell.
I'm going to give some intertwined
Radio.
honorable and yes, radio is also on there. Honorable and dishonorable
Okay.
mentions. Okay, so we've got Dead Poet Society, which was always shown when I was in school. Friday Night Lights, which was a good time whenever it came on.
Love it.
Flubber.
That movie's a little inappropriate for school. Not Flubber, but Friday Night Lights.
Flubber's inappropriate in that it's just a terrible movie.
Not as inappropriate for school as Saw, which one of my favorite teachers showed and then was subsequently fired.
I mean, yeah, easy peasy.
There's a nip slip in Friday Night Lights, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to require like sending out a
Parental
yeah.
permission, maybe.
We already did Last of the Mohicans, The Patriot. Rudy, dishonorable mention. Honorable mention, Amadeus, which was
Dang.
always played.
Yeah, that's a good one. I saw that in school a
Yeah.
few times.
Honorable mention, School of Rock, which did get played quite a bit.
You know what? I feel like, I have seen that in school.
Honorable mention, because it's kind of older and it's dating us, but Stand and Deliver. I did watch that.
Yeah.
I was
plenty of
waiting to see
times.
if anybody mentioned it because I almost considered throwing it on here, but I like the two I picked more.
I was trying to
It's just because we're Mexicans. That's
Oh,
why we've seen it.
I was trying to describe this movie to you, Sam, and I was just like, it's got Edward James Olmos in it. And she's just like, yeah. And I was just like, how do I get to these kids? And she's like, oh, it's one of those movies. And I was like, no, it is that movie.
Yeah, that's
that movie.
Yeah.
I was like, I love that movie.
How am I gonna teach these kids?
Calculus.
Honorable mention, Indian in the Cupboard.
I've never seen that movie, but I'm familiar with it.
That movie rocks.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Also,
I'm sorry, Native American in the cupboard.
well, I didn't name it. Also, hella honorable mention because this movie slaps super hard. The Page Master featuring Macaulay Culkin.
That's a good one too.
Movie
Yeah.
slaps hard. Another slapper, The Brave Little Toaster, which I've brought up. Another slapper, Charlotte's Web, the animated version.
Okay.
Not
yeah.
the one with James Cromwell.
That's a good school movie.
Homeward Bound, baby.
Wow.
Milo and Otis.
I toss one on there. I feel like should be in that chunk of the list. Babe.
Babe.
Yeah.
Oh,
100%.
babe.
Also in your English class.
That movie might suck now, though. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, no one's seen Babe in 20 years.
Speaking of movies that might suck now, what about Man of the House featuring JTT and Chevy Chase? You remember that one?
Yeah.
Always was on there.
Looking good, Sturgis.
Yeah, Sturgis.
I've never seen it, but I remember the cover.
Yeah, it's pretty
he's
terrible.
wearing like a Native American headdress.
sure
right?
is.
Wow.
He was part of the Native American Scouts,
Yeah.
I don't think that's
but
what
it's
they're
not
called.
the Native American Scouts yet.
Pretty dumb. Fern Gully, also on there. The Secret Garden, another one. Jumanji,
Oh, okay.
the original. The Sound of Music I did see in school a lot.
I never saw The Sound of Music.
I've never
in
seen
school.
it either,
Crazy.
actually. Oh, I've never seen the movie.
I was
You've never seen
I was gonna
the
add that
movie?
on there. I've never seen The Sound of Music.
I mean, I'm not gonna like sit here and say it's amazing, but I feel like it's one of those like
Yeah, it's
Wizard
a
of Oz.
it's
like,
a very.
you have to- the music's dope too.
You know, I'll get around one day. I know all the songs, which
Yeah.
is funny, but I just
It's one
haven't
of
seen
those
the movie.
like Moana for me. Like I know all the songs, but I've never seen the movie. Matilda.
Sick.
Another good one. The Addams Family, the one with.
You were watching a lot of movies in school, man. I don't know if I watched this.
We
one.
did watch a lot of movies.
That's
Now
pretty
that I
fun.
think about it, Hoosiers, 100% would
Never seen
always
it.
be. What? This was like always played in school. That's crazy.
No.
Nope, not in my class.
Honorable mention. Okay, honorable mention. Mr. Holland's Opus.
No.
Really?
We watched it in school one day because our orchestra teacher was upset that no one had seen it.
Well,
And then she was like, we're going to watch it.
it's a great movie.
And then no one paid attention.
Well, yeah. It's kind of like an old people movie, I guess.
Well, it was one of those movies where it's like, this is clearly way too old. Like, as a teenager, this is your reaction. Oh, this movie's like 30, 40 years old. And then your brain instantly shuts down. It like sees the old You know,
I agree 100%. Like a late 70s look.
Yeah. Definition is the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that definition is kind of. Nah, I'm out.
Richard Dreyfuss as a young guy. Ugh. And it's not Jaws. Ugh. Selena, being here in Texas, we did watch that quite a bit. I did watch Monty Python's The Holy Grail in school quite a bit. And
I feel like you watched way more movies than I did in school.
Right? This is what
I feel like I just had a better
at,
childhood than you guys.
Is this a better or a poorer education?
Maybe. I was educated in different ways. Muppets Christmas Carol when the time was appropriate. And that's
Interesting.
my last.
Can I hit you guys with some other school related questions?
Yes.
All right. And I'll go first in the answer because you don't know what the question is. But what was the most like outrageous movie field trip you had? Or like at least memorable, you know what I mean?
You mean going to see a movie?
Yeah, going to the movies for a field trip. So like for me, our elementary school was down the road from the Montwood Dollar Theater.
That's funny because we weren't even close, but we took a field trip out there
to the Montwood Dollar Theater.
Yeah,
I mean, it's got to be a cheap field trip.
Yeah.
But we saw Starsky and Hutch in theaters as middle schoolers.
Wow.
That's really inappropriate.
Horribly inappropriate.
Yeah.
Also, not a very good movie.
I remember one, and it was at the Montwood Dollar Theater.
Yeah.
And it was the animated version of The King and I.
What?
Which is
Wow,
lame.
that
That's
sounds
lame,
lame.
dude.
Lame. I don't remember taking a field trip to ever go see a movie other than that.
I remember 2, and it was Holes. Dope.
Dig 'em up.
I think I did go to see
one
that,
of the
actually.
Harry Potter movies.
We had that same field trip because we read Holes and then the movie was in theaters and we all went to go see it.
Honorable mention.
Sick.
Holes was always
Yeah,
in
Holes-
school.
Holes-
And Holes is a great movie.
The movie's a great adaptation and the book's killer too.
And the many videos online are pretty good too.
So this isn't my memory, I guess, but the class that was a year under us, when they were 8th graders at the middle school I went to, they took them to see The Ring.
Wow.
And apparently there was no permission slip. And this is like a story that is like told among that class.
Dude, that's awesome.
Like, you remember that time we went to go see The Ring and half the like audience was crying because they were scared little kids.
That's amazing.
When I first saw that movie, I was terrified too.
Right?
And
What a fun prank to play as a teacher.
Right? Yeah, it's like the teachers who organized that field trip were unhinged. They were
Yeah.
like, nah, we're just doing it.
wow.
I love that. I wish it was me.
Way to take their job into their hands.
Okay, do you guys have a movie memory of a movie you watched in class? You know what I mean? Like one that the teacher was there? Like part of a lesson is what I'm getting at.
Oh, yeah.
Not a substitute movie, but is there one that comes to your mind? That's
Yeah.
like either...
That was
like,
part
what
of the lesson?
Like,
kinda?
yeah, what's like the best movie you saw in school?
I mean, Jaws.
that's great.
Jaws was fantastic. And then second was like, I mean, not as the same caliber as Jaws, but like when we watched the movie version of To Kill a Mockingbird was really good.
Dude, that movie's amazing.
It is really
That
good.
is a good one.
Really well done.
Gregory Peck is...
That's a sad movie, man.
Yeah, dude, well, the story's sad,
It's
man.
really sad, yeah.
Because as a kid, you're like, oh, he's going to get through this. And it's like, oh, no, racism is powerful.
That's a movie that's so good that it breaks that definition barrier because it's a super dated movie. I mean, we're talking Gregory Peck, young Gregory
although
Peck.
it looks beautiful. Like,
It does.
Because it wasn't like a set or anything, I don't think. It was
Well, it's not Technicolor, right? It's
filmed in...
black
No,
and
it's
white.
black and white.
Yeah, it's black and white.
It looks really nice.
Yeah. But Jaws.
Jaws,
100%.
that's a great choice. What about you, Frank? You got one?
Besides Jaws, because I think we watched that together in film appreciation.
was a film
right?
appreciation.
Yeah, you guys having a film class.
We had a
together.
film class and
Yeah.
we watched some bangers in there. But outside of that, it's got to be The Patriot for me. Mm-hmm.
That's great.
Just a teacher being like, it's a history movie. It's like, no, we're watching The Patriot because it slaps, and I'm in for
It's
it.
amazing.
The most memorable was this English class I had as a freshman in high school. And it was like mostly boys, and it was also a lot of the football team. It was really funny. But we watched that Romeo and Juliet, the 70s
yeah.
one.
Okay.
Oh, the
And-
70s one.
Yeah, with Olivia Hussey.
Yeah.
And she's like topless in the movie for a second.
Yeah.
And all the 14-year-old boys in the room were like, what? Like everyone's like, yeah. And then the teacher was one of the football coaches. And he was like, guys, calm down. And it was just so ridiculous. It's also like 2 frames.
Wow.
And it's also an incredibly controversial scene now because she was 16 in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeesh.
And it was apparent, like there's a lawsuit about it today.
Yeesh.
Which is interesting. Of course, at the time I was 14, so I guess it's like a little better.
Whatever you have
know.
to do to justify it.
The movie's uncomfortable now. Wait, we'll talk about some stuff from Danny's high school years.
I'm just turning the tables.
But the best movie I saw in high school was we watched both Sweeney Todds. We watched the
Oh.
Johnny Depp one, and we watched the actual like Broadway with George Hearn.
And then just
as the
pop
lead
on
role.
The Office episode.
Attend the tailors.
You know what? I don't think that episode was out yet.
No, because it's a later season. It's
Yeah,
like 6 or
that's true.
7.
It's right before Michael leaves. It might be the season he leaves.
Yeah, it is the
Because
season. I think
Aaron
it's
is
6 or 7.
Aaron's there.
Might be 6.
But anyway, it was a theater class, and the lesson was like comparing the two mediums. Which, I mean, the movie's great. I love the Tim Burton movie. Although Johnny Depp is not as strong a singer, obviously, as the guy on Broadway. So that dude is like, yeah.
Kills
And
it.
it's on Broadway right now with Josh Groban as Sweeney Todd.
Huh.
Josh
yeah.
Groban, also in The Office. Weird connection.
Yeah, and he loves his ladies to pop. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Groban likes his ladies to pop.
ladies pop.
Yeah, I
That's
forgot
true.
about that.
That's a good point. Anyway,
Oh, that's amazing.
What a delightful conversation.
that's fun. Fun movie memories.
Weird, just like one movie would just spark another movie's memory and it would keep going.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny. Going into this, I was having trouble remembering movies that I watched in school, but this brought back so many movies.
Little Giants, Little Rascals. Also forgot that.
And to put a boomer sad spin, a boomer doomer spin on it, is the movie Day is Dead, guys. As a current
Is it?
teacher,
Yeah.
I can say it's been killed.
What do? Do you just tell them all to go on their phones or something? Or what?
You prepare a Nearpod lesson. You know what I mean? A digital lesson. Guys,
When you
log
said,
into
you
your...
know what I mean? I was like, I have no idea what you
what?
mean.
Oh,
Yeah.
log into... Okay, so Nearpod is essentially an interactive PowerPoint where you can put in multiple choice questions, a video, and free response questions. So you make it like a PowerPoint, but you build in the questions.
Huh.
So while you're gone, you can make a Nearpod activity. Aguilera, for instance, has some mean ones where it'll be like, he'll be absent, and it'll be like, oh, just complete this Nearpod. And the Nearpod, you'll see it'll be like 4 slides, but the first slide will be like 60 name this note questions.
Wow.
And the kids are like, I hate this assignment so much.
Wow.
But if you can name your note, it's pretty easy.
Yeah.
F, A,
So just
C.
do your homework.
Yeah, it's really funny. But that is the thing. Or like log into your Google Classroom on your phone, get on your device and find there's a video you need to respond to and then respond to 2 other people's comments. All that kind of nonsense.
Oh man, they're doing the whole Blackboard College thing now.
Blackboard College is now the high school experience, which is very sad.
Oh yeah, that is
It's
sad.
very sad.
Yeah.
Because it's also like, it doesn't really prove much.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of people.
And there's always
who are-
that kid or that one person who's just like, I really agree with what Jennifer said, and just agrees to the response that she's had as a reaction.
Oh, I have to type in 100 characters? Okay, give me a second. I really agree with what Jennifer said. I think you made a lot of great points here.
It resonates really well with what I was also thinking.
Yeah, and in a way, we have some similar ideas. Thank you for this very polite response, period. It's like,
Period.
wow, you said nothing.
yeah.
You said absolutely
You
nothing.
should be a politician. You're saying a lot of nothing while saying something at the
man.
same time.
Yeah, a bit of a bummer in that regard.
Yeah, that sounds really boring.
Yeah, it sucks.
It's just weird imagining being in school right now. I mean, like, you have the ability to like distract yourself with like all these like devices in front of you, but at
Yeah.
the same time you're expected of more because you have them in front of you.
Yeah, I honestly think expectations are lower. Thanks, George Bush. But it's like one of these things where you really can't fail anybody. You know what I
I
mean?
heard, yeah.
But to be fair, in our time, unless you really were putting in no effort, high school's a breeze. You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
Like, especially if you're not taking like AP or whatever.
Oh, you talking about us?
Yeah, our
High school
age.
wasn't a breeze for me.
Really, it wasn't a breeze.
Now, we had some like hardcore
I had a
Really?
hardcore
yeah.
teacher, yeah.
I feel like this is, this is really getting into education, but like a lot of high school, especially when you think about standardized test, it's kind of like a game. And if you get to the point where you play the meta of the game, it's very easy. And for me, like in my brain, that always clicked. Like I never had a problem with any kind of standardized test, so I always had really good scores. But it's interesting when you get to college and that kind of flips.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't become part of this
Standardized
like
test, yeah.
It's like, well, of this 4-person multiple choice, eliminate the obvious answer.
Yeah.
And then find the 2 responses that are most similar. Those are one of the 2 right answers.
Yeah.
And then infer, like, you can't play that game.
Not in high school.
But
no.
now you can.
Huh.
Because it's all been kind of dumbed down. Which is, I don't know, man. It's kind of weird. It's
Maybe
kinda
I should
weird.
go back to school.
Yeah, it sounds kind of easy now.
Yeah. It's a bummer.
For me, I mean, I think I had teachers that like, and this isn't to like knock on people who are teachers now, but I
Yeah.
think like the teachers I had really cared about like the subject, but they also had more pull and say about making their own lessons plans and like making their own unique lesson plans. Because I know that there's like a set thing that people kind of have to stay to and determined by your subject. Right?
Yeah. And, I'm not too informed on this because as a music teacher, I don't have to deal with this, which is also real nice.
Yeah.
But, like, for instance, I know that, like, the whole English department might agree we're going to buy the Macmillan curriculum, which comes with all the pre-written tests that we're going to use. But then the issue is that all these pre-written stuff that everyone's buying is on Quizlet.
Yeah.
So, and again, it gets back to college. It gets back to, like, because your college professor's so lazy that you're just buying Blackboard access, he's also opening it up to being like, oh, well, they can just look the answers up online because they're all there. Yeah, on a forum. But I'm turning the blind eye to it. It doesn't really matter.
Wow.
So I don't know.
So do you really learn?
It sucks. Yeah, no, you don't learn. You just learn how to game that system, and that's really all it is.
And accrue the debt. That's the other important part of it.
That's the important part.
You learn a lot about interest rates.
And all the companies that make the textbooks are the companies that own Blackboard and make all these digital things. It's all a big,
Also,
Ponzi
the
scheme.
same people, the textbook companies kneel to California, Texas, and Florida because they're the largest market. So they dictate what actually goes into the
And
textbooks.
they also have a financial stake in the standardized test, and they write the prep material for that standardized test.
What do you know?
So, just like everything else in the U.S., it comes down to money corrupting otherwise valuable institutions. So
Welcome back.
What a beautiful,
Welcome back.
what a beautiful country to come back to, and what a beautiful note to end this discussion on.
there we go.
I guess really quick before we end, we'll just go briefly into like some quick recs. Let's try and speed round it.
Yeah.
A little bit what we've been doing. Why don't you start us, Frank?
I've just been like not watching a ton of movies and TV, watching the end of the NHL regular season, getting pumped for playoffs that just started yesterday. We're going to watch, hopefully, the Avs kick the shit out of the Kraken tonight.
I hope so.
I love Frank on his hockey arc. This is one of my favorite versions of
I have
Frank.
joined. I've begun.
Yeah.
now.
Oh, nice.
That's
This
what
is
we're doing
beautiful.
after this.
We're gonna watch
a
hockey.
game.
We're watching hockey, bro.
We're putting on our oversized jerseys. We're watching
man,
hockey.
Of all sports
sweaters,
jerseys-
David.
of all sports like memorabilia that you could wear, the hockey sweater looks really sweet
yeah.
compared to a football
Is
jersey.
it not called the jersey?
I
a
don't think
sweater.
it is. Yeah.
Is it really
David,
called
they
a
got to
sweater?
stay warm. They're playing on
Yeah, but
ice,
they're
man.
called jerseys, aren't they?
I don't know.
They're called sweaters.
Are you sure? Okay.
I'm not sure.
I used to have one, and it felt more like a jersey. I had a
mean,
Dallas Stars one growing
They're
up.
very stylish.
They're sick.
Yeah,
I mean,
they are.
they're great.
That and
one
like
of the best
baseball
outfit,
one too.
one of the best outfit choices you can make in Bully the video game for sure.
No, for sure.
Oh, sick.
That and like I said, like baseball shirts. Not just the baseball shirt with the long sleeve, but I'm talking about the ones that like
the button up.
Yeah, those are sick.
That's a classy look.
Very cholo-esque. Love it.
Dang.
I could see that for sure.
Dang essay.
What about you?
Well, first, I have to drop maybe a slight bomb, but I've decided that I'm going to leave the channel, guys.
Oh wow.
And I also decided, let me spring it on you on channel
Okay.
as a content demon. You know what I mean? Michelle was like, you shouldn't tell them on the channel because it's like rude and insensitive. And I said, nah, let's just do it. I
Said,
think.
"F- these guys.
Well, I just felt like you guys wouldn't be upset by it. You know what I mean? But anyways, to quote Bender Bending Rodriguez, I like a dump to be as memorable as it is devastating. But I don't know. I was telling you guys that I was burned out. I wasn't going to come to this episode anyway. And then I just thought about it and I was like, man, obviously I don't have as much free time as I usually do, but
Why?
well,
he got that BOGO deal on it.
it's a long story, but just watching one movie and then setting aside the time to research and then do the episode and then edit the episode, put it on social media, like it's just so many hours in a week.
It is.
And I really enjoy doing the podcast right now, but I sense the overwhelming burnout.
Yeah.
And it'll soon get to a point where it's like I'm not enjoying it and I'm just angry about it. You know what I
for
mean?
sure. Yeah. I can
But
get
then
that.
like holding on and not wanting to be angry about it. And then there's part of me that also thinks like to a degree I'm not being fair to you guys because, for instance, like if this was a year ago, we would have all like watched the Mario movie Thursday night. It just released.
Yeah.
Let's get together Friday and do the episode. Let's put it out on Sunday. So my weird schedule is kind of preventing, releasing content has to be timely.
Yeah.
That's one thing we've learned doing the show. And it's like, no, I'm detracting from it. And then part of me is like, I could take another break, but I want you guys just to have complete creative freedom. And in my head too, I'm always so obsessive about things that like I'll constantly just be planning and like trying to figure out something else to do. You know, I'm on that grind mindset. I'm
even in the
built
break
different.
you were doing the Halloween 31.
I can't not work on a project. It's basically what it is. So I have to remove myself.
Well, that's
from
how
the
we
project.
started doing the podcast because we weren't doing the band anymore.
Yeah.
And we were like, well, what do we stress about for no reason now?
I need to do something. I need to do something. So, you know, I might just take up like watercolor painting for a little while or like
Buy a rock garden.
yeah, maybe I'll write poems in the backyard or something like that. Or maybe just sit outside on the back porch and just play mandolin Elliott Smith covers.
There you go.
Which sounds
Wow.
like a beautiful way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Come join by for an acoustic session. But I just thought, you know, let's make content out of it, obviously.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Let's announce my departure. But
Well, do you have a final word for listeners and viewers?
Is it boobs?
You always you hit us with the surprise questions. The one final round. What's your final parting word to the listeners?
You know, I guess Frank and I have been doing podcasts since like 2015.
Shit.
And we've had a couple breaks here and there. And then, of course, Danny
I feel
peppered
like
in.
it was even longer than that. I think it was
I don't know.
2013.
I wasn't a teacher yet. I was still
No,
in
yeah.
college.
I think.
And I've been teaching for 7 years. So it's yeah, you're probably right. It might be 2013, 2014.
I think you started them in like late 2014.
You know what?
Because-
Out of posterity, I'm going to check the YouTube and see when the first video was uploaded.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure because it was right when our band broke up or like was getting close to it, and I think that was like early 2015.
When it was on hiatus the first time?
Yeah, tell me about it. Yeah. And then I think you guys had been going for quite a bit right before I moved. So I think it was like 2014, I think is like when you kicked it up.
Yeah.
Did I say 2014?
When you visited, you know, you would do some episodes. And then, I mean, on this show, well, you know what? It says We Dap episode 1 was 5 years ago. So I'm
5 years
That doesn't
ago?
make sense.
Yeah,
that can't be right.
Wow. 2018?
It must have been
No
a
way.
re-upload. Well, anyways, we'll
get to it.
we'll edit this in or whatever.
Yeah.
But you know, I love getting totally involved in a project, and I just feel satiated. You know, I feel like I've done it. I've done a podcast, and now I'm kind of down to do something else. I don't know what it is, but also, you know, again to hit another quote like Aerosmith, I don't want to miss a thing. You know what I mean? I just want to be at home. I feel like every time I'm gone, there's a sense of me that's like, yeah, I'm putting a burden on Michelle, and like if anything wrong happened,
Yeah.
I would feel
You'd
really
feel bad about it. Yeah.
And it's also one thing, you know.
I mean, it is your fault.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it would be your fault, obviously.
And you know, we do like the church band that I do with Danny, and you know, we have Mary every once
Don't
in a
let
while
people
now.
know that.
Sorry, it's out there. But you know, that kind of thing. It's something about the performance aspect of it. You know, there's a little more like give and receive.
Yeah.
And while I don't, you know, I'm happy with the growth we've had on the podcast. We've definitely had some moments.
We're
of
definitely
like,
growers.
you know what I mean? That's
Not
always
showers.
exciting, but you know, I just I think it'll be best for your guys what will probably be just an unhinged chapter in a great way on the show. You know what I mean?
I'm excited about it.
Think about all the crazy stuff you guys could do. And then I just, you know, maybe if there's any regrets, I guess. Man, we could have finished Movie Quest. I wonder what I would have decided is my all-time favorite movie. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's years.
Years, yeah.
Years,
dude.
But
Yeah.
I would really love to see like at the end what ended up.
We're
being.
going to continue Movie Quest, and you're always welcome to come in and just be like, this is my final movie.
Yeah, you know, I'm not opposed to coming back as a guest, but it has to be that role.
And you'll have to clear it with us first.
Yeah, obviously.
We haven't
have a
invited
pretty-
you yet, so
Yeah.
come
Well,
on.
and I also, you know, I'm gonna have so many other guest spots that I got to schedule it. But if I have time for you guys, I'll swing by.
We'll call your people.
Yeah.
you gotta
We'll
get
have
out.
our people
Jimmy
reach out to
Kimmel's
your
always
people.
hitting you up. And
Yes.
Yeah.
Rhett and Link, you know, I'm going to
Yeah.
be on, keep an ear out on that, or an ear out for that episode. So,
Nice. Well done.
Thank you.
You know, I'm really glad that this is the dawn of the official deep diving uninformed movie reviews Dune lore podcast. And
God.
here we go. Just
All right, I'm out too.
I got to be honest. This is the real reason I'm leaving is that Dune 2 is coming out. and I want nothing associated with watching Dune. I will
it's not even for another 7 months. And
No,
I'm like
but
really excited
I
about
get
it.
even mentioning it is going to get me angry. So I have to
I'm
leave.
falling asleep as we were talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, when it got brought up the other day, I felt dread.
right? And it's like I'm not rewatching the first one to get ready for
There's
it.
no way.
I can't wait for it to be good, and like it's just gonna make you guys be like, well, now I have to talk about it. Well, he does.
Well, no, I bet.
Again,
I bet I won't enjoy
Yeah,
it.
there you go. This is a preemptive strike, is what this is.
Yeah. It's like Duncan, Idaho. I'm out. I'm out.
Well, he's out too.
Oh, that's a good point. Spoilers. No, I'm joking. Not enough pugs to keep me around. Okay, Dune. I'm talking about the David Lynch one. How they have.
Oh yeah.
The
yeah.
Atreides family has little pugs.
Forgot about that.
Best part of the Dune series.
The original one's dope.
Well, I'll leave off on some recommendations. I got two, and one is My Own Private Idaho. It's a Gus Van Sant '90s movie.
I've
Your Own
actually
Private-
been thinking about watching this.
You were
It was
talking
mentioned
about
on
that.
Wizard and the Bruiser.
Your Own
Yeah.
Private Duncan, Idaho.
I bought that movie years ago when I worked at FYE. I have the receipt inside. I saw it,
Dang.
and I just never got around to watching it. It's a very interesting drama, a little avant-garde almost. Definitely not traditional storytelling. River Phoenix plays a male prostitute with narcolepsy,
Oh wow.
and Keanu Reeves is the son of the mayor who's run away to also become a male prostitute, and the two of them connect together in a friendship.
Wow.
And the movie is like a journey of a River Phoenix who has this really broken childhood, looking for his mother, and it's an interesting movie of discovery. It's got Flea in it also, which I thought was
Oh,
interesting.
sick. Weird.
Is he a
but
He just
nihilist?
pops up everywhere, man.
He's not a nihilist, but I'm pretty sure he's a male prostitute. A lot of male prostitutes in the movie.
Could be nihilist.
I love the way they do sex scenes in the movie. I've never seen it done in the way that it's done in Your Own Private Idaho.
Who is it? POV?
No, it's it's just so when the sex scene shows up, it's just still frames. And it's like the two naked bodies are next to each other, like they're posed models. And then it'll just cut to like 8 different frames of like different positions. It is so interesting. There's so many artsy choices.
Almost like finding your dad's magazines.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. But River Phoenix gives an amazing performance. I mean, you really got to think what would happen if he hadn't have died.
Damn, who do you think would be the stronger Phoenix now?
I honestly, I don't know if Joaquin Phoenix's career would have taken off if River
Just
Phoenix
would
was
have
still around.
rose up like a bird out of Arizona.
It's also weird. I want you guys to watch the movie so you can let me know. But in the movie, River Phoenix looks so much like Harry Styles to the point that it's very distracting. So
Wild.
I'm curious to see what you guys think. The other recommendation is A24's Beef. I just finished it. I would recommend it to Danny because it is just a spite series.
It's fantastic.
It starts
I'm,
off-
about halfway.
It starts off with a road rage incident between Steven Yeun, Channel Darling, and
Danny
Amy.
lookalike, apparently.
Yeah, well, and his name's Danny too.
Yeah,
It was in those skydiving
Danny
photos.
Cho.
Your
Yeah.
head was so shaved,
Yeah.
and it just looks exactly like his shaved head. It was hilarious. Amy, what's her name?
Lau. But I mean,
Amy
that's
Lau.
her.
What's the actress name?
I don't know. I don't know her name.
She's a
look it up for you.
comedian.
Oh,
She's the one I was
that's where
telling you.
she's
She did the stand-up special when she was
I thought she
pregnant.
looked
Yeah,
familiar.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. Is it Monica? No.
Lewinsky.
I can't see her.
Is her
Ali
last name?
Wong.
Ali Wong.
Yeah, she's actually really funny. Yeah.
Yeah, her
She's-
stand-up is pretty solid.
A really good actress.
She
man.
is,
I
yeah.
mean, she's really standing out in this role, and I think it's gonna
I
open up a lot more
love
stuff.
I love in the second episode where like she just like finds him on Yelp
Yes.
and she just like screams into the phone while holding a gun at the phone.
Yes, dude. It's so unhinged. But I also love how relatable it is because I think most of
Yeah.
us have had that experience where we're driving, we get angry,
Yeah.
we're flipping someone off, we're screaming in our car. And this show is kind of like, well, what if everyone just kept taking the next step?
There's been a lot of good songs that have been like perfect for the moment,
Yes.
and I'm really sad that like Break Stuff by Limp Bizkit hasn't shown up because
Yet.
it's just one of those days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I'm just joking. It doesn't show up.
I mean, I would hope it does, but that would be perfect.
Yeah. There's also some great juxtaposition of like the praise band team, for instance.
oh my God.
There's just so
It's
much.
well done.
Yeah, it's so well done. It's so funny. Highly recommended.
Absolutely.
As my final recommendation,
I
go
agree.
watch Beef.
It is on Netflix, Netflix original series.
It's what's for dinner.
Ooh, well done. I have also been watching Beef. I've been burning through a full rewatch of the entire series of Succession so that I can catch up Sam to season 4, which has just come out.
Are you watching it out of order or are you watching it in succession?
Well done. I am watching it in Succession. Season 4 just come out. It's about the 4 or 5 episode mark. It's also the series finale. If you haven't watched Succession, It's one of my favorite HBO shows, and also Brian Cox is just incredible, man. I mean, everyone in that show is incredible.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just about watching. It's about a spiritual like adaptation of the Murdochs or Rupert Murdoch's life.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, and it's about corporate America, and it's all of its seedy underlings, and it's really just amazing, dude. It's hilarious.
That's
too.
nice. I've actually been thinking about like how enjoyable it was to watch House of Cards before the unfortunate news came out, and I've been missing that. Like I feel
This
like
will do
it
it.
left a hole. That sounds
This
kind
will
of nice.
definitely
There
do.
you
It.
go. Okay.
I'm telling you, this show is. I mean, once you start watching the first 2 episodes, you'll be in, and you'll be like, all right, I want to watch this all the way through. It's really good. I'm really excited for it to end. I love shows that know when they've run their course and have just like a perfect arc. I love it. Don't make it go longer than it needs to.
Yeah,
Walking Dead.
Americans. Come on.
Oh,
I'm talking not about the show Americans. I'm talking
Also
about
Americans.
American as a culture.
Also,
Yeah.
America. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I've been watching thus far. Just Beef and Succession, and Beef is great so far. I can't wait to finish it.
Yeah, it's going to have a controversial last episode. I think a lot of people are going to hate it.
Really?
I think a lot of people are going to like it. I think it's going to be a divisive last episode.
Everyone I've seen talk about it has been all about it.
It's good.
So that's good. Huh. Well, what a direction this has gone into. I just want to, say we're going to miss you, and you're always welcome back home.
He'll miss you.
That's nice. Okay. That's what I expected from Frank.
So I'll
Sincere thank you from Danny.
Yeah.
Or to Danny.
I'll expect you here back in December for the Dune podcast. So.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, pencil me in. Yeah.
Pencil me in.
Pencil us both in.
Hey, so Frank, what are you doing in December?
The whole month.
What? The Dune episode's going to like land on Frank's birthday or something. It's going to end up being like, for your birthday, Frank, you're talking about Dune.
That's what you're doing.
Burn the studio down. I'll take all my gear out first. But
Oh, man.
Well, we'll see you next time on Uninformed Movie Reviews. Thanks for sharing, and subscribing. Follow us at Instagram at Uninformed Movie Reviews, at Twitter at UMR Podcast, and at TikTok at Uninformed Movie Reviews. David Pena.
that's a wrap for David Pena.
Yes. Thank you.